all politicians with one brush because somebody has done something bad. If one politician is corrupt, it doesn't mean all politicians are corrupt. If one politician is indulging in criminal activity, it's not fair to paint everyone in that brush. The same is true of your profession, for instance. And similarly, in the bureaucracy, there are bureaucrats who work extremely hard. There are bureaucrats who sacrifice a lot for the state, for the country. And it will be wrong if this woman is found guilty of what she's been accused of to paint all the bureaucrats in one brush. But I'm sure that ultimately the bureaucracy also, and especially the IAS service, they respect their reputation, they value their reputation, and I'm sure at the appropriate forums, as I said, once an investigation is complete, I'm sure at the appropriate forums, every service, whether it's IPS, IAS, foreign service, many services in our country, they will want to weed out elements that, as I said, bad apples that could potentially, from the perception point of view, spoil the whole bunch. And that's something we all must do and we all must ensure.
Mr. Devrath, really, appreciate you speaking on this issue, sir, coming out and, of course, expressing your views on this here on NDTV. Thank you so much for speaking to us. Let's now listen in to what this accused IAS officer, trainee IAS officer, had to say about this controversy.
I'm not authorized to speak anything right now, so I cannot comment on this.
Ma'am, आज अपन join करना है?
Oh, I'm very happy to join in Washington district.
अच्छा.
I'm looking forward to working here.
अच्छा. मॅम, आपल्यावर जे मीडिया मधून सातत्याने आरोप केले जात आहेत, नेमकं काय सांगाल त्याबद्दल?
नाही, मी ऑथराइज नाहीये त्याच्याबद्दल बोलण्यासाठी. गव्हर्नमेंट रूल्स डू नॉट प्रोव्हाइड मी टू स्पीक अबाउट दॅट, सो सॉरी, आय कॅनॉट.
सामाजिक कार्यकर्ते कुंभार यांनी आपल्या उत्पन्नाच्या दाखल्यावरनं आरोप केलेला आहे, काय सांगता?
तेच सांगते मी, आता ऑथराइज नाहीये तुम्हाला काही सांगण्यासाठी. गव्हर्नमेंट रूल्स डू नॉट अलाउ मी टू स्पीक एनिथिंग ऑन दिस मॅटर, सो आय एम सॉरी, आय कॅनॉट स्पीक एनिथिंग.
आज आपण जॉईन झाला वाशिम?
येस, आज मी ऑफिशियली जॉईन झाले आहे वाशिमला. अँड मी इकडे वर्क करायला, इकडे काम करायला मी अभिलाषी आहे.
My colleague Rahul Kulkarni now joins us with more details on this. Rahul, serious allegations. In fact, some chats of this officer to her subordinates in which she is wanting all these perks to be arranged for her even before she joins, threatening them that she doesn't want it to be left for later. Now, she's at this moment evasive. What is the action that the government is taking? As we are hearing Milan Devra as well, he has requested the Chief Secretary to intervene.
देखिए, जहाँ तक हमें अभी पता चला है, पीएमओ की तरफ से पुणे डिस्ट्रिक्ट कलेक्टर को ये बताया गया है कि आपने जो 26 पेज की रिपोर्ट स्टेट गवर्नमेंट को सबमिट की है, जिसमें आपने ये बताया गया है कि ये एक अप्रोप्रिएट बिहेवियर उनकी तरफ से नहीं हुआ है, तो पीएमओ की तरफ से ये बताया गया है कि आप भी हमें वो रिपोर्ट दीजिए कि जिसमें 3 चीज़ों का वो जानकारी चाहते हैं कि जो नॉन क्रिमिनल सर्टिफिकेट है क्या वो सही है, जो डिसेबिलिटी वाली बात कही जा रही है, एम्स की तरफ से 6 बार उनको पूछा गया था कि आप टेस्ट के लिए आइए, वो आए नहीं है, और जो पुणे में उनकी पोस्टिंग हुई थी तब क्या उन्होंने व्हीकल मांगी थी, अपने लिए सेपरेट ऑफिस मांगा था, और वो किस तरीके से बिहेव कर रही थी, ये सब पीएमओ ने पूछा है कि हमें जल्द से जल्द आप ये रिपोर्ट दीजिए. दूसरी आज एक बड़ी अपडेट हुई है, पुणे ट्रैफिक डिपार्टमेंट की तरफ से उनका जो बानेर स्थित जो घर है वहां पे आज ट्रैफिक पुलिस गई थी. 3 आला अफसर वहां पे गए थे. लगभग 45 मिनट वो पूजा खेड़कर के घर के बाहर खड़े रहे. वो चाहते थे कि पूजा खेड़कर के घर के अंदर जाए, लेकिन अभी हमने देखा कि पूजा यहाँ से जा चुकी हैं. नाउ शी इज इन वाशिम. तो उनके घर में उनकी माताजी थी, उन्होंने पुलिस को अंदर आने की इजाजत नहीं दी. लगभग 45 मिनट पुलिस वहां पे खड़ी रही. वो ये जानना चाहती हैं कि जो प्राइवेट उनकी व्हीकल है ऑडी, जिसके ऊपर उन्होंने बेकन लगाया था, क्या वो अभी भी उनके घर पे हैं, उसकी मालिकियत किसके पास है. अभी आपको पता ही होगा कि पोर्शे इंसिडेंट्स के बाद पुणे पुलिस बहुत एक्शन मोड पे आई है. लगभग 1.5 लाख लोगों के खिलाफ यहाँ पे एक्शन हुई है, 50 लाख का जुर्माना हुआ है. जब हमने पुलिस से बात की तो पुलिस जो ट्रैफिक रूल है, क्या उस ट्रैफिक रूल का उन्होंने उल्लंघन किया है ये देखना चाहती है. क्या उस प्राइवेट व्हीकल की ओनरशिप पूजा खेड़कर के पास है वो देखना चाहती है, और हो सकता है कि उस ट्रैफिक रूल के अंतर्गत भी उनके ऊपर कुछ कार्रवाई की जाए.
Right. She is at this moment, in fact, being castigated for going against the service rules of IAS officers and also demanding undue privileges which were not entitled to her even before she had formally joined the service, at this moment a trainee officer. Thank you so much for joining us with all those details. With that, we are slipping into a short break. News and updates on the other side. Stay tuned.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's best 5G smartphone brand.
Get the magic of the best working for you now.
Link your payment cards once, collect rewards forever.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you. NDTV proudly upholds its legacy of trust and credibility. According to the prestigious Reuters Institute's Digital News Report 2024, NDTV is the topmost news platform in the country. Number one in both online and offline reach in India. Beating all its competition, NDTV stands for trust.
Here we are and ये है आप सभी जैसे जानते हैं मेरा पर्सनल फेवरेट सेक्शन जहां पे मैं देता हूं आपके सवालों के जवाब इन दिस सेगमेंट दैट वी कॉल आस्क टीजी। देखते हैं इस एपिसोड में हमको क्या सवाल मिले हैं।
Hi TG, is the Insta360 X4 worth upgrading from the Insta360 X3 camera? Also, do you think there are any other alternatives?
I'll give you my honest takeaway. Insta360 is doing really good in terms of these 360 cameras, action cameras, small cameras and everything. But I would say please don't upgrade to the X4 if you already have an X3 because X3 is really powerful in itself. और Insta360 X3 बहुत अच्छे options लेके आता है. It's a well-rounded deal altogether. So if in case you already have it, there is no point for you to upgrade to the X4 or any other camera for that matter. आप उसको अभी use कर सकते हैं for at least I would say एक और साल तक before you see any substantial upgrade in this technology और हो सकता है अगले आने वाले जो मॉडल्स होंगे वो आपको ज़्यादा एक्साइटिंग लगेंगे।
नमस्ते टेक्निकल गुरुजी, मैं ऑनलाइन क्लास में पढ़ती हूँ और मुझसे ज़्यादा टाइम के लिए ईयरफोन्स नहीं पहने जाते। क्या आप मुझे ऐसे ईयरफोन्स या हेडफोन्स सजेस्ट कर सकते हैं जिन्हें हम 3 से 4 घंटे पहन सकें?
मैं आपको 2 सलाह दूंगा मेरी तरफ से। सबसे पहला तो अगर आप ईयरफोन्स यूज़ करते हैं तो उसमें आप ईयर टिप को चेंज करके देखिए बिकॉज कई बार उसका साइज़ अगर आप चेंज करेंगे तो आपको ज़्यादा कंफर्टेबल फील होगा और आप लंबे टाइम तक उनको पहन पाएंगे। सेकेंड थिंग, अगर आपको स्टिल लगता है कि ईयरफोन्स जो हैं ज़्यादा कंफर्टेबल नहीं हैं तो आई वुड रिकमेंड कि आप
All right. Meanwhile, in the Mumbai hit-and-run case, the Worli hit-and-run case, in fact, at this moment, investigation seems to be picking up where the police today confronted the accused and accused 24-year-old, Mihir Shah and the driver. Both of them were, in fact, brought face-to-face and their statements were recorded. Now, the police also recreated the scene of crime. The accused were brought face-to-face with each other and the version of the driver and the accused were also recorded. The police said Mihir Shah was drunk while he was driving. He is the son of Shinde Sena leader, in fact, who has now been dismissed from all party posts by the Chief Minister. Let me go across to my colleague Anuj, who's joining us with more details on this. Anuj, some startling, in fact, new information coming out and during the police investigation. What's the latest?
Yes, indeed. See, the major highlight of the day is the judicial custody being granted to the second accused in this case, that is the driver, Bidawat. It was just the hearing ended just a few hours ago, and the judicial custody for 14 days has been given to him. But if you look at what has transpired since yesterday, that is when a police custody was given to the primary accused, Mihir Shah, in this case, the police tried to do an interrogation of both the accused together, and in that several details have come out, right? Of course, one of them is the fact that after having their alcohol session in the particular bar in the particular pub in Juhu, both of them went around the region, and then it has also been stated by a few of our sources that, and also confirmed by the police later, that they both bought some liquor cans from Malad, and after that they also stated a very important point where they both said to the police that they weren't aware of the fact that after the accident took place, the body got attached to the bonnet, as a result of which they kept driving by being completely unaware of the fact that there is a body attached to the bonnet. You see, talking about the points, those which were made today in the hearing, the prosecution made two important points, asking for an extension in the police custody of the driver, Bidawat, that is. Firstly, they said that there are two things missing from this case, from the police's records, and that is firstly the number plate, which was also stated yesterday. The number plate is yet to be recovered by the police, according to them. And secondly, there were liquor cans which this duo bought from Malad, and then they disposed it. So they wanted to recover these cans as well. And on that particular point, the judge came down quite heavily on the police and said that the recovery of the liquor cans isn't really directly correlated to what the case is, and then the police should probably stick to what the proceedings are at the moment. The second important point which the public prosecutor made in this regard was the fact that Mihir has been given a police custody till the 16th, and they wanted a police custody to the driver till the 16th as well, because the police stated that these were the only two people present there when this incident happened. So both of them, if questioned together for the rest of the 5 days, can corroborate each other's claims, because they were the only two accomplices, physical accomplices, present there when the event took place. Although this was a strong point, but the judge still, was in the favor of giving a judicial custody for 14 days for the driver in this case. Now that has put the police on a bit of back foot, because now all they have is Mihir Shah's custody up until the 16th. So they'll try to strengthen the case in that regard and try to interrogate other people as well. As of now, accounts of 12 witnesses have been taken into consideration. We also know that through the preliminary investigation that has taken place in the first 3 days, which picked up the pace a couple of days ago when the family was spotted and Mihir was arrested, there have been several other people who've been detained as well, including his friends and family. And since yesterday, of course, they were interrogated together, and then several points came out in public to the police as well. So we'll see how the police deals with this entire matter with only Mihir Shah in their custody for the next 5 days.
Thank you, Anuj, for joining us with that detailed explanation. Moving on now, the Education Minister, Dharmendra Pradhan, in fact, met some NEET students, those who had given the examination in 2024 before the controversy. In fact, Education Ministry sources are saying that some of the students stressed and expressed their concerns over re-examination. Students were concerned over the possibility of re-examination. Many of them have got good ranks and have asked the minister to ensure that there is no injustice done to them. The meeting lasted for 30 minutes.
In this meeting, there were two groups of students who had come to meet Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan. Remember, he has held such meetings in the past as well. So this is more of him constantly interacting with these students who have been anxious, and their parents as well, trying to give all kinds of assurances that the government can give at this juncture, because remember, this issue is sub judice, as we have been talking about and following this case very, very closely in the apex court. But having said that, what we are being told is that, of course, there are a group of students who are of the opinion that there should not be mass re-NEET, which essentially means that each and every student will be asked to take a retest, something that will delay the entire examination process, because in just 2 weeks' time, the counseling is going to begin, which will essentially mean that those students who have qualified will be told which university or which college, medical college, their classes will begin in. They can begin with the admission process. So the entire thing could get delayed, is the sense. But the government's affidavit in the Supreme Court has talked about, the leakage being very, very localized, and that it was not mass leakage. And hence, it has been building a case of not going for what is being clearly seen as a logistical challenge of a mass, examination or a re-NEET. So certainly, the minister interacted with the students, gave them assurances, and also said that their career, their future is the priority of the government. And that's what the government is looking at, even as it presents its side of the story in the apex court.
Meanwhile, in the top court, where the hearing on the NEET undergraduate mess is going on, the court today deferred the hearing to July 18th. The petitioners want re-examination over the alleged paper leak. The centre, and NTA and the CBI have filed their affidavits in the court today.
The IIT Madras report has been attached by the central government in their affidavits. That clearly had stated that there was no sharp curve in the results that came out, and also no major beneficiaries had impacted the students at a larger level in this paper leak. How do you see those reports being attached by the central government?
This is only eyewash. The Patna IIT Madras report is merely to got some credential on the stand of the University of India. But what IIT Madras has done, they have only compared the result of 2023 and 24. But what was the order of the court? The court has requested the Union of India that some forensic academic background check of the students may be done. So they have not compared with the academic background of the student, such as that how much marks a student has obtained in class 12th or class 11th or class 10th, and what was their result in the NEET examination. There was instances where a student has just failed in physics in their 12th examination, but they have got more than 700 marks in the NEET. There was another instance where 108, it has to be verified, but where 108 student has scored more than 700 marks from one center. And the center was the first time center has been made first time in the NEET examination.
Slipping into a short break at this moment. News and updates on the other side. Stay tuned.
Some people say the metaverse will only be virtual. One day this lecture hall will be made of code, and driverless cars would be trapped in intersections. But even in this maze of the future, you can't wish away health. It's time to become more resilient. "10 years of Banega Swasth India, we have grown and achieved so many milestones. And now I have a plan to beat the urgency, to stop breathing with difficulty, to relieve getting choked with inactivity. Energize our government, our environment, our society, and ourselves. Everyone, everywhere, every day. Banega Swasth India. One world hygiene.
This is a pub that was shut by the excise department. In fact, that was sealed by the excise department. As you can see, the BMC officials cutting off that particular sheet, the black sheet, because this is an illegal extension. And now remains to be seen what other action will be taken. बिना उसकी उम्र जाने, उसके साथ मौजूद उन दोस्तों के उम्र जाने, उसे आखिरकार शराब कैसे दी गई?
The police's major concern or primary concern at the moment is Mihir Shah and what exactly unfolded that night.
बड़ा आदमी का लड़का है ना, तब ये इधर राजकारण चल रहा है, कुछ नहीं है, ये राजकारणी सब लोग हैं।
The biggest democratic exercise in the world. Team NDTV covers it from ground zero.
BJP really had to fight a tough election this time.
Unprecedented exercise. Unmatched coverage.
There is no dispute. जनता को decide करना है.
From polling to counting, NDTV brought you the most trustworthy news and updates. Elections mean NDTV.
Trouble mounts for Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah and his family after a new complaint was filed with the Election Commission against the Chief Minister. The complaint claims the Karnataka Chief Minister had failed to mention his wife's land details in the 2013 affidavit. Remember, this comes at a time when opposition has been raising questions about the prime plot of land held by the Chief Minister's wife, which they claim she got via illegal means. While the BJP threatens to hold more protests, Chief Minister Siddaramaiah said if they can, BJP should prove any illegality in the case.
ಅವ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ತೊಗೊಳಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ಇಡಿ ಕಂಪ್ಲೇಂಟ್ ತೊಗೊಳಕ್ಕೆ ಅವಕಾಶ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸರ್ಕಾರನೇ SIT ಕಂಪ್ಲೇಂಟ್ ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಂಡಿದೆ. ನಾವು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟಿಗೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೋ. ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಅವರು ನೋಟಿಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಮಾಜಿ ಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳು ಅವರು ಕೂಡ ನಾನು ಮಂತ್ರಿ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾಗ ಅದು ಎನ್ಕ್ವೈರಿ ಆಗಬಾರ್ದು ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಅವರೇ ಫ್ರೀ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಫೇರ್ ಆಗಲಿ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ವಾಲಂಟಿಯರ್ ಆಗಿ ರೆಸಿಗ್ನೇಷನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಕ್ರಾಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಿನೆಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಅವ್ರು ಯಾವುದು ಸಿಗ್ನೇಚರು ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ, ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೂ ಇನ್ವಾಲ್ವ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಕೂಡ ಅವ್ರು ನಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಮನವರಿಕೆ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಬಟ್ ಕಾನೂನು ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟಿಗೇಷನ್ ನಡೀತಾ ಇತ್ತು. ಈ ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ED ಅವ್ರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ನೋಡೋಣ.
ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ತನಿಖೆ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳಿಲ್ವೋ ನಾವು? ಇನ್ನು BJP ಅವರು ರಾಜಕೀಯವಾಗಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆ ರಾಜಕೀಯವಾಗಿ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ರಾಜಕೀಯವಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ. ಅವ್ರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ರಾಜಕೀಯವಾಗಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ.
ರಾಜ್ಯಾಧ್ಯಕ್ಷ ನೇತೃತ್ವದಲ್ಲೇ ಮೈಸೂರು
ಯಾರ ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷತೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಲಿ, ನಡ್ಡಾ ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷತೆಯಲ್ಲೇ ಮಾಡಲಿ, ಅವ್ರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ರಾಜಕೀಯವಾಗಿ. ಅವರೊಬ್ಬರೇ ರಾಜಕೀಯವಾಗಿ ಮಾಡೋರು. ವಿ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ನೋ ಹೌ ಟು ಕೌಂಟರ್ ಇಟ್ ಪೊಲಿಟಿಕಲಿ.
ಬಟ್ ನೀವು ಇಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಪಷ್ಟೀಕರಣಗಳನ್ನ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು ಕೂಡ ಅವರಿನ್ನೂ ಕೂಡ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮನೆಯ ವಿಚಾರದಲ್ಲೇ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರುವಂಥದ್ದು. ಬೇರೆ
ಈಗ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲೀಗಲ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ? ಲೀಗಲ್ಲು ಇಲ್ಲೀಗಲ್ ಎರಡು ಥರ ಇರ್ತದಲ್ವಾ? ನಾವು ಲೀಗಲ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಅವ್ರು ಇಲ್ಲೀಗಲ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ತೋರಿಸ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ.
Well, in fact, he did mention that he would answer if he receives an EC notice, number one. Number two, he's also said that he would be willing to face all the legal assaults. And number three, he also said that if there is going to be a stormy session, which is scheduled to begin next week, he would be ready to face the allegations once the opposition raises those questions. But in the meantime, yes, definitive answers as far as this Muda allegations are concerned. Well, no answer there yet. But clarification in the form of a statement that was made by the Chief Minister did mention the fact that this was something that was done legally. The land was usurped by Muda, and that is why he wanted to seek compensation. And the entire order with respect to the 50:50 ratio, all of that was passed during the BJP's regime. So it is definitely a political face-off that we see on ground, with the BJP on the offensive trying to stage protests. And they have promised to stage protests tomorrow as well in Mysore. And while these protests are on, this has definitely triggered the wrath of the CM today, where he has mentioned that one, he is being targeted because he hails from the backward class, and two, he has also said that if the BJP would indulge in politics, the Congress would also know how to do politics.
A breach in a canal that supplies water from Haryana to Delhi led to knee-deep waterlogging in parts of residential colony in Bhavana in the national capital, stranding residents in their houses. Now, the water from the barrage of Munna Canal entered the colony northwest Delhi. Flow of the water from Sonipat has now been reduced, and authorities have requested Haryana to close the gates so that the canal, in fact, can be once again, in fact, repaired. The canal originates from Yamuna River in the Munak in Haryana, in the Karnal district. Now, Delhi's Water Minister Atishi visited the area. Delhi Lieutenant Governor has also issued directions to the Chief Secretary in this regard. The Delhi Jal Board is coordinating with the Haryana government for restoration work.
ये जो कनाल है ये हरियाणा इरिगेशन डिपार्टमेंट मेंटेन करती है। हरियाणा इरिगेशन डिपार्टमेंट की पूरी टीम यहाँ पे मौजूद है, दिल्ली जल बोर्ड की पूरी टीम यहाँ पे मौजूद है और जैसा कि आप देख सकते हैं कि ऑलरेडी यहाँ पे रिपेयर का काम शुरू हो गया है। एक तरफ हमने बंद करके पानी का फ्लो रोक दिया है, दूसरी तरफ भी ये पानी के फ्लो को रोका जाएगा और आने वाले कुछ घंटे में जो एम्बैंकमेंट टूटी है उसको शाम तक रिपेयर कर दिया जाएगा। इस पर इंक्वायरी होनी ज़रूरी है, इसको एक बारी इंक्वायर करेंगे क्या किसी प्रकार का फाउल प्ले हुआ है, क्योंकि यहाँ पर किसी भी प्रकार की सीपेज का कोई प्रमाण साइट पर नहीं दिख रहा है। पानी यहाँ से निकलकर बवाना के एरिया में गया है, वहाँ पर दिल्ली की सारी एजेंसीज उस पानी को पंप आउट करने में लगी हुई हैं।
इस वक्त दिल्ली के बवाना इलाके में मौजूद हूँ और यहाँ जे कॉलोनी है जहाँ पर मुनक नदी में एक ड्रेन टूटने की वजह से जो पानी है वो देखिए किस तरीके से यहाँ पर भर गया है। ये फिलहाल पानी की शुरुआत है लेकिन अंदर तक पानी बहुत भरा हुआ है। यहाँ पर एक महिला जरूर है जो गुस्से में है क्योंकि इनका कहना है कि इनकी बात नहीं सुनेंगे।
हाँ, बात नहीं सुनेंगे। 12 लोग पानी में डूब रहे थे, कोई नहीं आए थे।
एक बार आप बताइए कि कितने बजे से शुरू हुआ पानी?
12 बजे से पानी शुरू है,
रात को 12 बजे।
12 बजे से। हाँ,
कितना पानी?
इतना पानी था, डूबा पानी था
घर के अंदर।
हाँ, घर के अंदर सबको मर भी गई है पानी के वजह से। फिर क्या कुछ नहीं आया, कोई भी नहीं आया।
सबसे पहले सुबह में कोई आया, कोई मंत्री?
नहीं, कोई भी नहीं आया।
अब पानी थोड़ा कम होना शुरू हुआ?
हाँ, पानी अब कम होना शुरू। जब दमकल ऊपर लगाए तो पानी कम है। सिखाया सब पीना था सब। और ये जो है ना प्रशासन की पूरी गलती है। प्रशासन को पहले ही बता दिया गया था कि जिस तरह से ये नहर का जो टूट रहा था तो उसे थोड़ा सा टूटा था, उस पर कोई एक्शन नहीं, कोई कार्रवाई नहीं।
पानी का प्रभाव बहुत ज़्यादा था,
बहुत ज़्यादा। और आप वीडियो में भी देख सकते किस तरीके से पानी का प्रभाव है। पानी का प्रभाव इतना ज़्यादा है कि अगर वो अभी भी उनको सही से रोका नहीं जाए तो इससे ज़्यादा पूरी कॉलोनी डूब सकती है। और कॉलोनी में ऐसे लोग हैं, छोटे छोटे बच्चे, यहाँ पे छोटा छोटा घर है, छोटी छोटी गलियाँ हैं, कहाँ तक लोग निकलेंगे, कहाँ तक अपना सामान निकालेंगे। और इस तरीके से हम तो प्रशासन को यही बोलना चाहते हैं, सांसद जी के अंडर में आता है नहर, सारे हरियाणा सरकार के अंदर में आता है। जब पानी उनसे बोला गया था कि पानी हमें ज़रूरत है, उस टाइम पानी नहीं छोड़ा गया था। और आज पता चल रहा है कि नहर टूट गई है और पानी गलियों में और घर में डूब जा रहा है, लोग डूब रहे हैं। तो आज पानी में रुकावट में भी उनको टाइम लग रहा है, क्योंकि जो चीज़ अभी अब देखो इतने सारे लोग हैं, सब परेशान है, इतने लोगों का घर डूब रहे, 2-3 मंजिल में आधा पानी घुस जा रहे हैं। वो कहाँ जाएंगे? रात में 12 बजे अगर मान लो अचानक पानी आता तो उस टाइम नींद के टाइम होता है। बत्ती तो पर भागना ही है, क्योंकि यहाँ पे अगर नहीं भागेगा तो करंट फैल जाएगा। बत्ती तो भगाया, ये सही हुआ है, क्योंकि अगर करंट फैल जाएगा तो और लोग मरेंगे।
Chief Justice of India D.Y. Chandrachud has expressed concerns over rising suicides among children in the country. D.Y. Chandrachud, the Chief Justice of India, has expressed his concerns over this issue. The Supreme Court has directed Central Health Ministry to file an affidavit detailing the efforts being made to prevent suicides in the country. The court stated suicides by children are a very serious social issue and instructed the Central Health Ministry to inform the court about the steps being taken to prevent the suicides in India. Advocate Gaurav Bansal has filed a public interest litigation seeking measures to curb the rising trend of suicides among children. And according to the RTI, responses provided by the Delhi police, over 400 students under the age of 18 have committed suicide in the national capital between 2014 and 2018, as stated by the advocate who has filed this PIL. Meanwhile, these visuals which we are getting you from Gujarat only underline the problem. One of the most chronic problems, the biggest issue that we heard during the elections 2024, joblessness and unemployment. Chaos at a recruitment drive in Gujarat where thousands turned up for a job interview. People thronged the firm for a walk-in interview. This is the sad reality of unemployment which stares the governments in its face. People shoved each other, and in fact there was some damage to the property as well. a gruesome murder of newborn babies. A mother has killed her twin baby girls by slitting their throat in Jammu and Kashmir's Poonch district. Now, this horrific crime, in fact, has come to light. The incident happened after a husband of the woman complained at a police station that the twins born out of illegitimate relationship of his wife. The police said the woman has confessed to the crime and she has been booked under murder charges. We're slipping into a short break. News and updates on the other side. Stay tuned.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's best 5G smartphone brand.
Get ready for the ride of your life. NDTV brings you the NDTV Auto Show with me, Mugdha Mishra. From the fastest supercars to the sleekest new energy vehicles to your trusted daily ride, we cover it all. Every Saturday at 10:30 a.m. and Sunday at 8:30 p.m. only on NDTV 24/7. Your next great escape starts here.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
You know that the world's first smartwatch was like 1977 में develop कर लिया था. It was straight from HP. Yes, Hewlett Packard जो लैपटॉप आज दिखता है HP के, ये HP ने ही unveil किया था and the model was HP01. It was quite amazing because it was this wrist gadget जहाँ पे एक कैलेंडर था, एक कैलकुलेटर था, साथ में क्लॉक, stopwatch, timer, alarm and in fact a world clock as well. Well, this gadget was really powerful और इसमें 28 अलग-अलग buttons थे. 28 buttons इतने से size में, well obviously उस time पे we didn't have touch screens. उस time पे I would say for engineers and for professionals it was such a boon, but then again this product failed because it was quite expensive, थोड़ा bulky था and maybe not that easy to use that. But मैं बोलूँगा it was the beginning of the era of smartwatches and eventually today you know how popular they are, जहाँ पे हर किसी से जब आप मिलते हो after the mobile phone, the second purchase that you do as a gadget is definitely a smartwatch these days. Did you know this? If yes, amazing. If no, then please let me know. You know the address. It's tg@ndtv.com.
After great victory by Indian team, and today we are reporting from Worli International Airport where we are showing
Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar, in fact, addressed the Maharashtra Assembly today. The Vice President's message was to, in fact, the legislators about democracy. He said that we must introspect and mustn't do anything to bring the institutions in question.
Honorable members, Parliament and state legislatures are North Star of democracy. They are North Star. Members of Parliament and legislatures are lighthouses. People look up to you to find solution to their problems. It is apparent that presently all is not well with functioning of our Parliament and legislatures. These temples of democracy are suffering sacrilege of statized disruptions and disturbance. Members must not do anything that brings disrepute to Parliament and affects their credibility. We have to introspect. We have to search our hearts and soul. Are we living up to that requirement?
External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar is hosting his counterparts from member countries of the Bay of Bengal, in fact, at the BIMSTEC Foreign Ministers meeting. This initiative for multi-sectoral technical and economic cooperation. It's a two-day retreat, in fact, beginning on Thursday in the national capital. Besides India, the BIMSTEC comprises of Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Myanmar, Thailand, Nepal and Bhutan. The retreat allows the foreign ministers to discuss avenues to deepen cooperation across various sectors, including security, connectivity and trade. In his opening address, Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar highlighted the need for such discussions, which will help in infusing new energies, resources into regrouping this entire region.
For India, BIMSTEC represents the intersection of the neighborhood first outlook, the Act East policy and the Saga vision. Each of these endeavors is being purposed with a specific focus on the Bay of Bengal, where collaborative potential has long remained under-realized. Our message should be clear that we are all determined to infuse new energies, new resources and a new commitment into cooperation among Bay of Bengal nations. Global and regional developments also make it imperative that we find more solutions amongst ourselves. There are long-standing goals such as capacity building and economic cooperation that have acquired a new urgency, and not least a grouping that is so complementary and so congenial in its membership should surely harbor higher aspirations.
Indian origin NASA astronaut Sunita Williams says she is not stuck at the International Space Station and is looking forward to her extended stay at the, in fact, a space-based home. In a message delivered on America's National Day, astronaut Sunita Williams, in fact, highlighted she looks forward to welcoming Indian astronauts to NASA and the space station in the video accessed exclusively by NDTV science editor Pallav Bagla.
Greetings from the International Space Station. I'm NASA astronaut Sunny Williams, along with my NASA crewmates Jeanette Epps and Tracy Dyson.
We're sending Independence Day greetings to all of you celebrating today at the U.S. Embassy in New Delhi. The 4th of July is a special day in America, a day of remembrance. But most importantly, we're reminded of possibilities.
As part of an international crew of astronauts, celebrating the 4th of July with colleagues reminds us that space exploration is one of the greatest beacons of possibility, greater than one country alone. India and the United States have had much success working together to explore the stars, and our future together could not be brighter. NASA and the Indian Space Research Organization continue to work toward the launch of NISAR, our joint Earth observation satellite that will launch from India this year to measure changes in our planet's surface. And we're not stopping there. Our cooperation is expanding to human spaceflight, including the launch of an Indian astronaut to the International Space Station. After returning to Earth, we look forward to meeting Indian astronauts training at NASA's Johnson Space Center in Houston, Texas. Our partnership with India and countries around the world will help expand humanity's reach for the stars.
Meanwhile, amid reports of India not travelling to Pakistan, the BCCI sources have told NDTV the call on whether India will go for the Champions Trophy next year will be taken by the Government of India at an appropriate time. My colleague Osama Saab, in fact, has more details. But first, let's listen in to what National Conference leader Umar Abdullah had to say about this.
ये कौन सी नई बात है? ये कौन सी नई बात है? अभी काफ़ी साल हो गए हमने बायलैटरल एक दूसरे के मुल्कों में नहीं खेला है। अब टूर्नामेंट के हवाले से अगर इंडिया की टीम नहीं जाएगी तो ये बीसीसीआई का अपना फैसला है। मैंने हमेशा कहा है कि इस मुल्क में और इन दोनों मुल्कों के दरमियान बेहतर रिश्ते कायम करने में ज़िम्मेदारी सिर्फ हमारे मुल्क की नहीं है। अगर इस मुल्क में बेहतर रिश्ते इन दोनों मुल्कों के दरमियान बेहतर रिश्ते बनाने हैं तो इसकी बहुत ज़्यादा ज़िम्मेदारी जो है पाकिस्तान की भी बनती है। जिस तरह के हमले हो रहे हैं वो नहीं होने चाहिए, जिस तरह का माहौल बना हुआ है वो नहीं बनना चाहिए। पाकिस्तान को भी अपना इसमें रोल अदा करना होगा कि मुल्क के दोनों मुल्कों के दरमियान जो ताल्लुकात हैं वो बेहतर हैं।
Amid all the speculations over whether India will travel for the Champions Trophy, which is scheduled to happen in 2025, well, there is no clarity yet. Our sources in the BCCI have categorically mentioned that the call on India's travel for the Champions Trophy will be taken by the government at the appropriate time. Remember, the last bilateral series between India and Pakistan, it happened way back in 2012-2013 when Pakistan travelled to India for a 2-match T20I series and a 3-match ODI series. Since then, India and Pakistan have faced each other in ICC tournaments only. None of them were conducted in Pakistan. Now, what is the alternative if India does not travel to Pakistan? India are likely to request the ICC to hold the Champions Trophy in either Sri Lanka or Dubai. Remember, a similar situation had arisen in 2023 when the Asia Cup, which was supposed to happen entirely in Pakistan, was partially relocated. During that time, Team India's matches, they were moved to Sri Lanka. A hybrid model was adopted where India's matches were moved out of Pakistan. Now, Pakistan has reportedly proposed all of India's matches in one city to minimize their travel. Lahore being that location where India would play all of their matches in the Champions Trophy. Remember, the ICC Champions Trophy, it is scheduled for February to March 2025 in Pakistan. Since 2008's Asia Cup, India have not played any cricket tournaments in Pakistan due to the tense relationship between both the countries. Will that situation change? Well, it looks unlikely after the recent terror attacks. And will India travel to Pakistan for the Champions Trophy? Like I said, our BCCI sources have confirmed that this call will be taken by the government at the appropriate time.
Meanwhile, the Adani port in Vizhinjam has in fact welcomed the first container to this port on this occasion. Chairman of Adani Group, Gautam Adani, has taken to X and has put out a post. He has said historic day as Vizhinjam welcomes its first container vessel. This milestone marks India's entry into global transshipment and ushers in a new era of India's maritime logistics, positioning Vizhinjam as a key player in global trade routes. Jai Hind is what Gautam Adani has posted. It's all the time that we have in this edition. News and updates continue on NDTV. Thank you so much for being with
us. Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you. NDTV proudly upholds its legacy of trust and credibility. According to the prestigious Reuters Institute's Digital News Report 2024, NDTV is the topmost news platform in the country. Number 1 in both online and offline reach in India. Beating all its competition, NDTV stands for trust.
Here we are and ये है, आप सभी जैसे जानते हैं, मेरा पर्सनल फेवरेट सेक्शन जहाँ पे मैं देता हूँ आपके सवालों के जवाब इन दिस सेगमेंट दैट वी कॉल आस्क टीजी। देखते हैं इस एपिसोड में हमको क्या सवाल मिले हैं।
Hi TG, is the Insta360 X4 worth upgrading from the Insta360 X3 camera? Also, do you think there are any other alternatives?
I'll give you my honest takeaway. Insta360 is doing really good in terms of these 360 cameras, action cameras, small cameras and everything. But I would say please don't upgrade to the X4 if you already have an X3, because X3 is really powerful in itself. और Insta360 X3 बहुत अच्छे options लेके आता है. It's a well-rounded deal altogether. So if in case you already have it, there is no point for you to upgrade to the X4 or any other camera for that matter. आप उसको अभी use कर सकते हैं for at least I would say एक और साल तक before you see any substantial upgrade in this technology. और हो सकता है अगले आने वाले
This is NDTV, and you're watching NDTV 24/7.
Hello, Moto.
Hello and welcome to the Southern View. I'm Veera Raghav. Lots lined up on the show this evening, but first to the headlines that we're tracking this hour. Starting with the NEET controversy. NEET aspirants express concern over the possibility of a re-exam as they meet with the Education Minister. The Supreme Court defers hearing on the case to the 18th of July. The police say the accused in the Mumbai hit-and-run case, Mihir Shah, had more drinks after leaving the Juhu bar and before the accident that killed a woman. The driver sent to 14 days in judicial custody. More trouble for the trainee IAS officer in Pune as the police are not allowed to enter her home to conduct their probe. They are forced to leave after a 45-minute wait. The top court takes note of rising child suicides in India. Chief Justice seeks a report from the government on suicide prevention measures. First up this evening, our special focus on what's possibly a race for a second international airport in Bengaluru. Tamil Nadu had announced plans for an international airport at Hosur, which borders Bengaluru and is well connected to the city's IT hub. But the Karnataka government has been in the works for a while and is keen on a second international airport for Bengaluru within the state's borders. And the state's infrastructure minister, M.B. Patil, has said that the government is in serious discussions to identify land and ensure a second international airport gets operational as soon as the exclusivity clause with the existing BIL airport comes to an end, which comes to an end in 2033. Both states aiming for Bengaluru skies. Joining me this evening, Karnataka's Minister for Infrastructure, Large and Medium Industries, Mr. M.B. Patil, one of the senior members of the Siddaramaiah cabinet. Sir, thanks very much for joining us this evening. You have categorically stated that Bengaluru needs and will have a second airport, and that Karnataka is weighing different areas for land for this airport. Tamil Nadu has already announced an international airport at Hosur. What's the real picture? Are these just announcements? Have there been any negotiations? What stage are the discussions at the moment, sir?
Let me clarify one thing. It was Karnataka, the Infrastructure Development Ministry. I had a meeting with all the officials and our advisors also that we'll be having the second airport. It was thereafter the Tamil Nadu government, Chief Minister announcing an airport in Hosur closer to the Karnataka border. Let me clarify one thing is, Bangalore, we have the Kempegowda International Airport, which presently handles around 52 million passengers and 0.71 million tons of cargo, and which can be raised by all measures to 110 million passengers and 1.10 million cargo facility. Thereafter, at 2035, it will reach its saturation. So we do have to have a second airport, and we have started the process already. See, what Tamil Nadu does is none of our business, So we are going to have a second airport like on the models of Navi Mumbai Airport, the exclusivity clause, as you already said, it ends up in 2033. So it requires 5-6 years time to do all the preparations like land acquisition. We require around 4,500 to 5,000 acres of land, and where we are exploring all the possibilities that whether the second airport has to be in the other part of the cities. Now the present airport, Kempegowda International Airport, is in the north of Bangalore. Whether we should have in south of the Bangalore for the holistic development of the Bangalore city, and it makes sense that people from south, the passengers from the load factor of the passenger comes from south. So this is one of the factors. The other factors is whether you should have a connectivity from the existing Kempegowda International Airport to the other airport. Like Navi Mumbai, we saw that it is around 35 kilometers distance.
Right.
And we have even seen the London and New York airports, which are in a distance of around 60-70 kilometers. So all these things are into this one. Apart from that, there are some technical parameters also. So with this, we will have a full-fledged airport in Bangalore. We will decide in a month or so that where exactly the airport has to be, we should come up. And it's our right, like, any growing city. Bangalore is a dynamic city, the international city now. The global city, we have to have a second airport.
Right. So,
and we had started process before Tamil Nadu. Let me remind you.
Sir, I think the news point from what you're saying, the important point from what you're saying is you're expecting clarity within a month. You're saying in terms of where potentially the location of the new airport will be. I just want to ask you, A, can you confirm that? And B, has there been any kind of conversation with Tamil Nadu, given that Hosur is just outside of Bengaluru and they've already announced that? Is there any conversation that's happened?
We have no conversation with them, but I'm telling you, it was Karnataka who announced first. After our announcement, Tamil Nadu has made an announcement.
Okay.
Just to try to remind you, please. So when we have scouted 5-6 locations.
Well, as you make that point,
please.
Okay, you're saying 5-6 locations. European cities, American cities have multiple airports. Obviously, the concept of a second airport in India was thwarted at one point of time, primarily because they were unsure of the kind of air traffic and whether it would be financially viable. Has there been any discussions on that front, sir? As you rightly pointed out, Bangalore is the third busiest airport in this country at the moment.
Yeah, I told you, by 2035 it will reach its peak. The Kempegowda International Airport will reach saturation. So it will reach 110 million passengers, which is the peak of capacity of Kempegowda Airport after taking all measures. And similarly, 1.10 million of cargo capacity. So we are going to have the second airport, which will be the size of 100 million passengers and 1 million tons of cargo facility.
And what would be the critical challenges from now to deciding on this issue? Has there been any conversation with the centre as well on this aspect?
No. It's not. Centre is not in the picture now. We have to decide the location. The location we have to have two things. There are two sorts of thinking. That whether it has to be where the load factor comes from. The passenger load caps comes from. That's from the south of Bangalore. It may be Mysore, Bidadi, Kanakapura, anywhere in the southern region. At the same time, if you have to have it to be well connected with the existing Kempegowda International Airport, it has to be Dabaspet, Tumkur. But all these things will be viewed with experts, Today, including Captain Gopinath was also made an statement about how his expertise, because he was in the aviation field. So we'll take all factors into this one, and it will be decided on merit.
Right.
Where the airport should become. We should come up, and we have done our exercise. After doing our exercise, we'll place it before the Chief Minister and the Cabinet, and then move it to the requisite approvals, etc.
So you are saying that you are at an advanced stage. Obviously, we will wait for further clarity on where that airport is. It's obviously something of great interest to several Bengalurians as well. Remember, it could well become the first city in southern India to have a second airport within this one. But sir, you're also an extremely seasoned politician. You won your first election in 1991 as an MLA. I just want to step away from the airport question and ask you a quick political question, if I can nudge you on the political controversies that are in the state as you brace for an assembly session, sir. Post the Lok Sabha election with controversies like the Muda scam, does the Congress find itself on a defensive?
No, we are not in a defensive. As Muda's concern is concerned, the Honorable Chief Minister himself has made a statement. How did it come up and all this? And we didn't. It was all happened. The allocation happened before in the previous government, and the rules and all other things were framed in the previous government itself. We'll answer appropriately, and we do not have any.
As you say that, sir.
Yeah, please.
Okay, I'm just going to nudge you for one last question. The BJP says, and critics say, that there is a power tussle for the Chief Minister's post within the Congress. Is that true? As a senior cabinet minister, what would you say?
No. There's no tussle. In Congress, as you know, it is the party high command. It's the AICC President Mallikarjun Kharge ji, Sonia Gandhi ji, Rahul Gandhi ji, all the CWC members at appropriate time. They will take decisions as regarding the Chief Minister. Now that it's not, the Chief Minister's post is not vacant.
Right.
The High Command takes
a very categorical point there. Mr. M.B. Patil, though, is focused on that second airport for Bengaluru. Sir, thanks very much for taking time out and speaking to us. We'll keep a close watch of the developments for that potential second airport between Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, as well as Bengaluru
one thing is the second airport, an exclusive airport will come. An exclusive airport on the models of the same lines of.
Let's hope for that.
But will come up in Bangalore for the Bangalore people.
Right, you're saying an exclusive airport on the same lines of the KIA BIAL airport in Bengaluru at the moment. Thanks very much, Mr. Patil, for joining us on the show. The political exchange in Karnataka, as I mentioned, over the Muda land allotment controversy surrounding Chief Minister Siddaramaiah only seems to be getting sharper with each passing day. An RTI activist has now complained to the Election Commission, raising questions over whether Siddaramaiah disclosed the controversial land in 2013 election affidavit that he filed. The Congress hits back and says the questions are absolutely baseless and mere political targeting of the Chief Minister. Pratibha Raman with the details.
Another day and another complaint against Chief Minister Siddaramaiah in the alleged Muda scam, after a social activist claimed on Monday that the Chief Minister's family had forged documents. RTI activist TJ Abraham has alleged that Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah has submitted a false affidavit failing to disclose the land owned by his wife in his nomination papers for the 2013 Assembly elections. It is the same land that was acquired by the Mysuru Urban Development Authority or MUDA and allotted sites to Siddaramaiah's wife as compensation. When the site worth more than 30-40 crores has been granted to Chief Minister's wife illegally, BJP has organized protest in Mysore against this big land scam that has taken place in Mysore.
ಬಿಜೆಪಿ ಅವರು ರಾಜಕೀಯವಾಗಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆ ರಾಜಕೀಯವಾಗಿ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ರಾಜಕೀಯವಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ. ಅವರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ರಾಜಕೀಯವಾಗಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ.
ರಾಜ್ಯಾಧ್ಯಕ್ಷ ನೇತೃತ್ವದಲ್ಲೇ ಮೈಸೂರು
ಯಾರ ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷತೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಲಿ, ನಡ್ಡಾ ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷತೆಯಲ್ಲೇ ಮಾಡಲಿ, ಅವ್ರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ರಾಜಕೀಯವಾಗಿ. ಅವರೊಬ್ಬರೇ ರಾಜಕೀಯವಾಗಿ ಮಾಡೋರು. ವಿ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ನೋ ಹೌ ಟು ಕೌಂಟರ್ ಇಟ್ ಪೊಲಿಟಿಕಲಿ.
ಬಟ್ ನೀವು ಇಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಪಷ್ಟೀಕರಣಗಳನ್ನ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು ಕೂಡ ಅವರಿನ್ನೂ ಕೂಡ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮನೆಯ ವಿಚಾರದಲ್ಲೇ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರುವಂಥದ್ದು. ಬೇರೆ
ಈಗ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲೀಗಲ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ? ಲೀಗಲ್ಲು ಇಲ್ಲೀಗಲ್ ಎರಡು ಥರ ಇರ್ತದಲ್ವಾ? ನಾವು ಲೀಗಲ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ಅವ್ರು ಇಲ್ಲೀಗಲ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ತೋರಿಸ್ಲಿ.
As the Congress and BJP face off over the Muda controversy, the state government is bracing for a stormy session of the state legislature. The opposition is likely to focus on the Muda controversy and the alleged Valmiki Corporation scam, which led to the resignation of the state's tribal welfare minister a month ago, and one where ED is investigating embezzlement of over 87 crores from its account at the Union Bank of India.
While claiming that he is being targeted because he comes from the backward class, the CM has promised to face an EC notice. Meanwhile, the Congress's tactics in terms of countering the allegations in the upcoming legislature session will impact the power equations within the party. With camera person Govind, Pratibha Raman in Bengaluru for NDTV.
Well, Muda is not the only controversy that Siddaramaiah is contending with as the state braces for what's expected to be a stormy legislature session. The National Commission for Scheduled Castes has sought a report from the state government on the BJP's allegations that funds earmarked for scheduled castes and scheduled tribes were being used to fund the state's welfare guarantees. The state government has hit back sharply and said that it's only using the funds for beneficiaries from the SC and ST communities, and hence there is no violation of any kind. As per a 2013 law, Karnataka has earmarked a specific percentage of its budget for SC and ST communities, and the BJP is questioning why those funds are being used for welfare schemes.
See, we have brought a law. Whatever money we are spending to the same community people. We have made a law in this state that this percentage of money we are going to spend to the concerned this one. So in whatever 38 crores or 33 crores or 28 crores, whatever is there, we brought a law in this. First time Andhra Pradesh had brought it, second time we have brought it, and we are giving to those same section of the society. What's wrong in it? There is nothing wrong in it.
Give me PGM right away. Well, joining us this evening on that face-off between the Congress and the BJP over funds, BJP's Bhaskar Rao, former police commissioner of Bengaluru, also the Congress's Lavanya Balal Jain joins us this evening. Mr. Rao, the first question to you specifically, the funds the Congress and the state government says, which are earmarked for the SC/ST community, is being used only for that community and providing the welfare schemes promised by the state government. So what's the problem? That's the question that's being raised.
The name of the scheme is SCP-TSP, Scheduled Caste Plan, Tribal Sub-Plan. This money has to be exclusively used only for Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribe, and under no circumstance it should be diverted. And it was not done earlier. And if anybody did it, they would be punished as per the SC/ST Act. Now the government itself has brazenly come out to finance its guarantees because this looks like a big chunk of money, and they have ridiculously expanded the scope, saying that we are going to use this money along with other people who are going to be using it for SC/ST. This was exclusively earmarked for the upliftment of scheduled castes and scheduled tribe, and the government is finding new ways and means to bring it down and bring down the welfare, and it is only making a false promise to the SC/ST saying that this much of money is going to be spent for you. Whereas genuine people who are going to be beneficiaries of this scheme, generally they are individual beneficiaries for education or business, etc., will be deprived, and this money is going to finance the guarantees, which has become a brimstone around the neck of the Congress. Somehow or the other, they are using each and every means of taking away money. They have raised the prices of all essential commodities, including fuel, petrol, and excise commodity, registration, etc., only to finance this. So this is absolutely criminal and wrong to divert the funds meant here.
Lavanya Balal, respond to that.
See, in Karnataka, we have 1.3 crore.
Lavanya Balal, respond to that.
Yes. In Karnataka, we have 1.3 crore people from the SC and ST communities who are beneficiaries under the guarantee schemes, and this excludes the free bus, the Shakti scheme that we are running. So the money that we are using from the SC/ST funds, it's not the first time the governments in Karnataka have done it. The earlier governments, including the BJP government, has done it. So under the sub-plan, when we are spending the money goes once again back to the SC/ST communities. I could give you a quick breakup about it. SC/ST civil aspirants, civil service aspirants who are getting 10,000 rupees now will be getting a 15,000 rupees, assistance. We are building libraries. We are building much more facilities for them, infrastructure for the aspirants. And all of this, the money goes back to the SC/ST community itself. The sub-law is only implemented in India by two states. One is Andhra and the other one is Karnataka. The question is, why isn't the center implementing the law? Why aren't the BJP-led states not implementing this law? And we are not taking away money meant for the SC/ST communities away from them. It is going back to them through these schemes once again. Like I mentioned, 1.3 crore beneficiaries are from these communities, and it is going back to them. So also, let me reiterate the point. The BJP government also has diverted funds earlier during their tenure from the SC/ST funds. It is not, sorry.
Okay, if it's going back to the community, what's the problem? Is this purely then a political allegation, Mr. Rao, primarily targeting the Congress for welfare schemes? That's the defense that the Congress has given.
See, this money is to be exclusively used. We learned from Andhra Pradesh how the welfare of the SCs and STs have to be improved. This government has introduced a clause to ensure that money can be removed out of it. Then why have the scheme? Scrap the scheme? No. Scrap the scheme if you don't want to have it. You cannot say that I am going to utilize the money for this. This is for individual and collective development of SCs and STs. Had it not been for guarantee, they would have also used it over there. These are all very wrong and incorrect excuses saying BJP government did it or previous government has done it over there. It's a very good act and a very good financial way of helping the SCs and STs over there. All that we are saying is that help those people as they are the actual and real beneficiaries of the whole. Okay. Why are you diverting the money? This is all.
I'm giving the last word.
False excuses which they are coming through that you did it too. We also want to do it.
Okay. Why are you diverting the money? It's excuses, says the BJP. Lavanya, the core question is about how you're funding the welfare guarantees itself. That's the core question. I give you the last word. Respond to what Mr. Rao is saying.
Yeah, Raghav, basically, the budgets meant for the state schemes is going on its own. Let me also remind the BJP, it is appalling that they find it very, very, annoying that we are doing the social welfare schemes for the underprivileged people of Karnataka, and they do not like it is a very appalling factor. Second, they should also fight equally, vociferously with the central government to ensure our GST funds are given to us. Our rightful share is given to Karnataka, and this will benefit the entire state of Karnataka, including SC, ST, and all the communities in Karnataka. BJP should do that, and BJP should stop politicizing this, because every state is aware that 24.1% of the total budget is given to SC, ST. We are aware of that. This is a political vendetta. That's it.
Let them scrap the scheme. They want
okay, you are saying it's a political vendetta. Obviously. Okay, obviously this will brace for a sharp exchange in the Assembly legislature session that begins on Monday. We'll keep a close watch on that. Thanks very much to the two of you for joining us on the show now. And finally, Kamal Hassan's Indian 2 is all set for an early morning release in Tamil Nadu, with the state government allowing a 9 a.m. show. The fan craze for the Kamal starrer is building up in Chennai, and NDTV's Sam Daniel now joins us live from outside one of the theatres where Indian 2 will hit the screen. Sam, the Kamal fan craze not as intense as the Rajinikanth fan craze when it comes to Chennai, but give us a sense of what's perhaps a kaleidoscope into the character of Tamil cinema there.
That's right, Viri Raghav. We come to you from the Rohini Silver Screens in Chennai. Here the first show would be at 9 o'clock tomorrow. The Tamil Nadu government has given special permission for one additional show tomorrow alone. So it will be 5 shows. and Kamal Hassan fans are super excited because it's been 2 years since Kamal Hassan's recent blockbuster Vikram was released, and they call the recent Kalki as only as a appetizer. And now it's a theme. Kamal Hassan and Shankar are teaming up after 28 years for this sequel of India, and they hope this will exceedingly do well than the first part. That's Indian. And Shankar, they hope, would have given elements which will resonate across India to make it a blockbuster countrywide. And this time the music is scored not by A. Rahman but Anirudh, and they say this will be a formidable combo. And more interestingly, Kamal Hassan a couple of years ago had said Indian 2 would also have a strong political message, and his fans are also looking at what he's going to say in terms of his political plans and any messaging for his fans that way. And the film itself, they say they're looking forward to, because the Senapati, the old man character which struck a chord with the masses last time, this time again Kamal has taken extra efforts to make sure he'll be able to really connect with the masses. Shankar said he spent up to 8 hours having that makeup done without even being able to eat his solid food properly. And all these things has generated quite a hype. Will this be a blockbuster? Will it set a new record? That's something we'll have to wait and watch. First show at 9 a.m. tomorrow.
Okay, we leave all that for the box office, but Sam Daniel let us in on a secret. Have you seen the preview? If not, do you have your tickets ready for tomorrow? You've interviewed Shankar.
No preview, but we have booked our tickets. We are going to watch the first show. Hopefully, there'll be some interruptions to do some live reports, but we'll be able to catch up first.
Okay, Sam Daniel at the 9 a.m. Kamal Hassan show of Indian 2. That's what we expect. Thanks very much there, Sam Daniel, joining us with all the preparations for the show. Remember, the fan craze, Kamal himself has tried to subdue it. It's often been more intense for Rajnikant, but we'll see what Indian 2 does. That's all we have time for on the Southern View this evening. News and updates continue right here on NDTV.
Get the magic of the best working for you now.
Link your payment cards once, collect rewards forever.
This is a pub that was shut by the excise department. In fact, that was sealed by the excise department. As you can see, the BMC officials cutting off that particular sheet, the black sheet, because this is an illegal extension. And now remains to be seen what other action will be taken.
बिना उसकी उम्र जाने, उसके साथ मौजूद उन दोस्तों के उम्र जाने, उसे आखिरकार शराब कैसे दी गई?
The police's major concern or primary concern at the moment is Mihir Shah and what exactly unfolded that night.
बड़ा आदमी का लड़का है ना, तब ये इधर राजकारण चल रहा है, कुछ नहीं है, ये राजकारणी सब लोग हैं।
The biggest democratic exercise in the world. Team NDTV covers it from ground zero.
BJP really had to fight a tough election this time.
Unprecedented exercise. Unmatched coverage.
There is no dispute. जनता को decide करना है.
From polling to counting, NDTV brought you the most trustworthy news and updates. Elections mean NDTV.
कैसे आप टेक्नोलॉजी को यूज करते हुए अपने गैजेट्स का पोटेंशियल और एनहांस कर सकते हो. एंड दिस टाइम इट्स अबाउट एआई. इट्स अबाउट गूगल्स लेटेस्ट जेमिनाई, बिकॉज ये अभी इंडिया में आ चुका है एंड यू शुड यूज दैट बिकॉज इट कैन डू अ लॉट. मतलब अगर आपको ईमेल लिखना है एंड यू नीड सम हेल्प कंपोजिंग दैट ईमेल, यहाँ पे जस्ट बाय यूजिंग द हेल्प मी राइट ऑप्शन आप ईमेल्स जेमिनाई से लिखवा सकते हैं. ये आपकी ईमेल्स को समराइज कर सकता है और आपके लिए बहुत सारे अच्छे तरीके से हेल्प कर सकता है ऑल अक्रॉस सिनेरियोज, ऑल थैंक्स टू द पावर ऑफ AI। तो जेमिनाई अभी इंडिया में अवेलेबल हो चुका है। वेल एज ऑफ नाउ इट्स ओनली फॉर द प्रीमियम गूगल कस्टमर्स या फिर ये गूगल वर्क प्लेसेस में अवेलेबल है, बट आई एम श्योर इट्स कमिंग सून फॉर एवरीवन। और आप सभी जब इसको फ़ोन में यूज़ करेंगे, यू कैन यूटिलाइज द फुल पोटेंशियल ऑफ गूगल्स AI टू मेक योर लाइफ एंड योर फोन्स even smarter.
Get ready for the ride of your life. NDTV brings you the NDTV Auto Show with me, Mugdha Mishra. From the fastest supercars to the sleekest new energy vehicles to your trusted daily ride, we cover it all. Every Saturday at 10:30 a.m. and Sunday at 8:30 p.m. only on NDTV 24/7. Your next great escape starts here.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
You know that the
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching NDTV. MLC elections in India aren't often a big deal, but tomorrow the state of Maharashtra will witness a nail-biting contest to elect 11 members of the Legislative Council in the state. Now, this election, in some ways, is being seen as a semi-final before the Maharashtra Assembly polls slated to happen later this year. It comes at a crucial time when the Mahavikas Aghadi, with the Congress NCP led by Sharad Pawar and Shiv Sena led by Uddhav Thackeray, outperformed the Mahayuti alliance led by the BJP, with the NCP led by Ajit Pawar and also Shinde-led Shiv Sena. Now, the last held MLC election, if you remember, was in 2022 when Eknath Shinde-led MLAs voted for the BJP, and that also in some ways led to subsequent rebellion and also political realignment in the state. In the last 5 years, 2 times the state government has collapsed, 3 chief ministers were sworn in, and both major regional opposition parties have split. Now, there are fears of cross-voting, and there's also pressure on both sides today, tomorrow, to prove a point, which is why these elections become important. Remember, the counting is on the same day, so it's all the more, exciting. A state with the second highest number of Lok Sabha seats, just after UP, Maharashtra was keenly watched in the Lok Sabha elections of 2024. But what kind of political changes will the MLC elections of tomorrow drive this time? That's what we ask. Joining me, of course, is a panel of esteemed guests. We have Shaina NC of the BJP, Sanjay Gupta of the Shiv Sena led by Uddhav Thackeray. We have Susie Ben Shah of the Shiv Sena, Charan Singh Sapra of the Congress Party, and also Rohit Chandavarkar, my friend and political analyst and a seasoned journalist who has been covering Maharashtra for several years. Thank you all of you for joining me on this show. Before we go to our guest, let's look at some reactions.
बहुत सारा खेल बदल गया है. ये डाका डाल सकते हैं, चोरियां कर सकते हैं. पब्लिक ने लोकसभा में बताया ना. तो उन सब जगह की जो भ्रष्टाचार से पैसे कमा कर खरीदारी में विश्वास रखते हैं, वही लोग इस तरह से बात कर सकते हैं. और इसलिए कल इसका इलेक्शन है, कल ही इसके रिजल्ट आने वाले हैं, तो आपको रिजल्ट पता लगेगा.
ये देखो, आज का दिन अच्छा दिन था, इसीलिए हमने ये दिन चुना. आज ट्यूसडे भी है, सिद्धिविनायक का दिन है, गणराया का दिन है, इसीलिए हमने ये दिन चुना. और सब लोग हमारे लोक प्रतिनिधि को लेके हम दर्शन के लिए आए थे. अभी ठीक ठाक दर्शन हुआ है, अच्छी तरह से दर्शन हुआ है. अभी हम वापस विधिमंडल में जा रहे हैं. ये देखो, बापा को आशीर्वाद मांगने के लिए सभी लोग आते हैं. आज इतनी भीड़ है यहाँ, वैसा हमने भी आशीर्वाद मांगा है. जरूर बापा हमें आशीर्वाद देगा. हाँ, दिखाया था ना, हमें जो ठीक लगा वो हमने किया.
Okay, let me also remind my viewers that the Maharashtra Vidhan Sabha has a strength of 288 MLAs. Now, some members passed away, some members got elected to the Lok Sabha recently, which is why the strength has dwindled to 274. According to the formula, each candidate tomorrow must secure at least 23 first preference votes to be elected. So how does the number stand now is something that everyone is curious about. Let me go across to Shaina NC of the BJP. Shaina, starting with you, BJP did face a setback in Lok Sabha 2024. It was reduced from 2023 in 2019 to just 9 seats this time. How was the party viewing this election? Because clearly, the opposition has fielded one extra candidate, which means that it is it is in some ways showing confidence.
Firstly, let's identify that the Bharatiya Janata Party has 103 MLAs, the Shiv Sena Shinde faction has 37 and Ajit Pawarji has 39. We have fielded 5 candidates. We are very confident that all 5 candidates will win because you need 23 preference votes in the first because the current strength has reduced from 288 to about 278. The fact is that in this kind of a scenario where you have the Mahayuti confident of winning all its seats, you have the MVA also fielding an extra candidate. So the fact is that for 11 seats, if you have 12 candidates in the fray, there is bound to be a little bit of pulling and pushing. But having said that, do understand that these MLC poll elections, as far as the Bharatiya Janata Party is concerned, we have our numbers. There's no question of any kind of horse trading. If you actually look at our numbers, currently we have the support of 111 MLAs, and that is sufficient for our 23 seats. Having said that, if there are certain people who are trying to play the push and pull game, they know why they're choosing to do so. But we are very clear that the Mahayuti will win all the seats that we are in contention with.
Okay, so the total strength of the Vidhan Parishad is about 78. MLAs elect 30 members, local bodies elect 22, graduates elect 7 and teachers elect 7 and 12 members are nominated by the governor. I'm saying this because the numbers look very complex. Remember that like the Rajya Sabha, the Legislative Council is a permanent house and it is never dissolved. The MLC gets elected for 6 years. So Mr. Sapra, in that context, the Opposition Alliance of MBA has fielded 3 candidates in total, which Shine also pointed out. Congress party has 40 MLAs, is fielding just 1 candidate, so it has 17 extra surplus votes. Now, Sharad Pawar's NCP has not fielded a candidate, but Jayant Patil, of course, represents the Peasants and Workers Party. Uddhav Thackeray has surprised everyone by nominating his confidant, Milind Narvekar, who was really discussed when the government really came down. Narvekar will win only if your extra votes go to him, sir. Is that going to happen is the question, because while your alliance did very well, we did see a lot of fights within the alliance, especially with regard to certain seats. So how is this going to play out?
I feel this election largely we have to see Mahayuti versus Mahavikas Aghadi. And whatever extra votes Congress party has, the Congress leadership in the state as well as the central leadership, they have already discussed, and we'll be sharing some of our votes with our alliance partners. That's right. But to tell you very frankly, Bharatiya Janata Party has fielded 5 candidates, and actually they require 115 votes, which they don't have. They have 111 votes. So BJP is short of 4 votes, and NCP Ajit Pawar group has fielded 2 candidates. So they are also short of 7 votes because they are having 39 MLAs with them. So we are fearing, in fact, that this Mahayuti might go in for horse trading, and probably whatever, either the extra votes of Congress party or the votes of the smaller parties, like we have Samajwadi Party, MIM, we have RSP, Communist, CPIM, we have, or JSP, we have PWP vote, we have. So these smaller party votes, probably there might be a horse trading by the Mahayuti, which the Mahavikas Aghadi, the Congress and Sharad Pawar NCP and the Uddhav Thackeray Shiv Sena is trying to prevent that. So in fact, we want that the Mahavikas Aghadi will win all its seats, and probably the Mahayuti will lose 1 seat from the elections tomorrow.
Okay, so each side saying that it's the other side that will actually indulge in horse trading. So
We are hopeful of just the opposite.
Okay, we'll see what happens, Shaina. Like, I'll come to you in a bit, but Susie Ben, last time such polls took place, it became very clear that Eknath Shinde's group of Shiv Sena, which is your party, had helped the BJP's candidates win. The Congress candidate, I remember, was expected to win. He was expected to get the first preference votes. He lost that election. Of course, the government collapsed. Then the rebellion happened. The Surat episode happened. Your party, however, performed better than expectations in 2024 elections. But Mr. Shinde clearly has also used this opportunity to rehabilitate those whose tickets have been cut. How do you see this, ma'am?
I think we, as far as, good evening to all, as far as Eknath Shinde is concerned, and the uprising that he undertook, and we supported that they are our longest serving partners, Alliance, UT, and they are our natural partners. So that was the reason that earlier also we had supported them in the Vidhan Parishad election. It was a given that Eknath Raoji will support BJP because we fought the election together. Be as it may, that's the story of the past. Of the 274 MLAs currently in the Vidhan Sabha, 200 is ours. Plus, we have the support of the independent candidates.
Okay.
With that calculation in mind, we have our right number of candidates we have fielded. It is the UBT whom you should ask questions.
Okay.
They don't even have the number of MLAs where they can get one MLC elected.
Okay.
They have nominated Narvekar. Maybe they were fearing that he is going to defect to the real Shiv Sena, and therefore he was given the seat. As far as UBT and Congress is concerned, Congress is bickering with the UBT. There is a lot of bickering within the Mumbai Congress and the Congress party. So we fear, and we are rather sure, that if at all, who will lose is the Maha Aghadi. They will fall. They will miserably fall because there is no communication. There is a complete collapse of the communication between the Congress and the UPT.
Okay.
The Congress had fielded two Vidhan Sabha candidates because Mr. Uddhav Thackeray was incommunicado. So therefore,
okay, let me get Sanjay Gupta here. Sanjay Gupta represents the UBT-led Shiv Sena.
Yes, so you wait and watch.
Yes.
We will from home in a very convincing manner,
Okay.
as we always have.
Okay, sir, how do you have to respond to this? Because Milind Narvekar's, candidature has been, in some ways symbolic and also surprising. But it also, how confident are you, sir? Because clearly, the numbers may not look very explicitly on your side, but your results, you have performed better than, other parties. In the sense, the alliance has performed better. I would rather say that Eknath Shinde-led Shiv Sena also has a better strike rate than you, though.
देखिए, ये तो लोकसभा के चुनाव में भी इसी तरह से बातें कर रहे थे और जिस तरह से लोकसभा के चुनाव में चुकाने वाले रिजल्ट इनके सामने आए और जिस तरह से महाराष्ट्र की जनता ने और महाराष्ट्र के लोगों ने इनके ऊपर से अपना विश्वास मत हटाया, ठीक इसी तरह से इस विधान परिषद के चुनाव में भी इनके साथ कुछ ऐसा ही होने वाला है। जो लोग बड़े बड़े बोल बोलते हैं और किसी को कुछ नहीं समझते और अपने आप ही को सब कुछ मानते हैं, ऐसे लोगों को मुंह की खानी पड़ती है और इस विधान परिषद के चुनाव में भी इनके साथ कुछ ऐसा ही होगा।
आप एलिगेशन ना करें, खुद की बात करें।
ओके सर, आप कितने कॉन्फिडेंट हैं? आपने जो एक्स्ट्रा कैंडिडेट, हाँ सर, आपने जो एक्स्ट्रा कैंडिडेट
जिस तरह से
आपने जो एक्स्ट्रा कैंडिडेट फील किया है और आप डिपेंडेंट है कांग्रेस के सरप्लस वोट्स पे, सर आप कितने कॉन्फिडेंट हैं कि जो हमने देखा 2024 इलेक्शंस के टाइम पे सांगली सीट से लेके काफ़ी सीटों पर उद्धव ठाकरे और कांग्रेस के बीच में जो मतभेद हुआ था उसको क्या वो रिफ्लेक्ट करेगा इस बार लोग जनता वोट नहीं कर रही है, एमएलएज वोट कर रहे हैं सर, तो क्या इसका इम्पैक्ट रहेगा?
आई होप यू अंडरस्टैंड। मतभेद
देखिए, गठबंधन में तो जब हम बीजेपी के साथ थे तब भी बहुत से मामलों में हमारे विरोधाभास होते थे, मगर उसके बावजूद भी एक बात रहती थी, ठीक इसी तरह से कांग्रेस के साथ बहुत से मुद्दों पर सहमति नहीं हो सकती, मगर उसके बावजूद भी एक ही है। बहुत से मुद्दों पर सहमति नहीं बनने के बावजूद भी महायुति है, महाविकास आघाड़ी है। तो इसलिए जो मेरी फाजिल दोस्त इस टाइम बैठी हुई बड़ी हंस रही है और अपने आप में बड़ा कॉन्फिडेंट है, जिस तरह से महाराष्ट्र की जनता ने लोकसभा के चुनाव में आपके विश्वास को एक दरकिनार किया और ठाकरे परिवार पे विश्वास जताया।
Let me go across to Rohit first. It's been waiting for a long time. Rohit, you're the expert here. Help us understand also the way parties have selected the candidates, because BJP has nominated Pankaja Munde, who recently lost the Lok Sabha elections, to an NCP candidate. She comes from the OBC community. The other candidates also in some ways have been given another chance. Shinde's Shiv Sena has fielded Bhavna Gavli and Kripal Tumane, whose tickets were cut in the Lok Sabha elections. Ajit Pawar, of course, has given an opportunity to his loyalists. But all eyes, like I said, are on Milind Narvekar, because, he was in some ways blamed for blocking access to Uddhav Thackeray. He was this he was discussed every time when we discussed, the collapse of the government. How do you see parties, coming up with the candidates? What was going on in their minds?
Candidates are too many, 12. So, I don't know whether I want to discuss each name and, the reasoning behind why that name was selected, etc. But the wider picture, Vasudha, is that, why is the nation watching Maharashtra Legislative Council polls? I can understand if people watch assembly polls in various states, but I don't think in any other state council polls are watched so keenly. Firstly, because this is Mumbai, the glamour capital of India. Secondly, because of the personalities, Uddhav Thackeray, Ajit Pawar, Sharad Pawar, all these personalities. Thirdly, because this election comes after, the NDA's debacle in Lok Sabha, so to speak, and the upcoming assembly elections in Maharashtra, for which this is considered to be a semi-final. So from those points of view, this is important. Now, what to expect is the big thing. The national audience. Why is the national audience watching this? Why is NDTV doing this? Because I think tomorrow we have to watch whether there is going to be cross-voting, as in MLAs voting secretly. This is going to be a secret ballot, a paper ballot voting. So are Ajit Pawar's men going to cross-vote? That is, are they going to vote for Sharad Pawar's candidate secretly? That is what is being watched in Mumbai very keenly. That's what is being discussed at Vidhan Bhavan. Secondly, who will get impacted? Will this Jayant Patil of PWP, Peasants and Workers Party, really be able to? He is supported by Sharad Pawar, but he is a leader of a small party. Whether he'll be able to tide over this and get enough votes, or whether one of Ajit Pawar's two candidates will get hit because of cross voting. That is what is being watched.
Right.
Third thing being watched is the surprise candidate Milind Narvekar. And there is a secret deal, as far as I know, and I've reported in my paper, between him and Congress for the Mumbai Cricket Association election. Can you believe that?
Right.
That is happening very soon. So there is a deal between Milind Narvekar and Nana Patole, State Congress President. Nana Patole is likely to contest Mumbai Cricket Association President's position. I mean, those are the possibilities that are being discussed. So, from all these points of view, I think this is becoming interesting. Everybody is going to watch it tomorrow. And the big question, of course, the last important point is whether cross-voting will happen and whether Ajit Pawar's men, some of Ajit Pawar's men, will go for cross-voting, because Sharad Pawar has claimed in media that some of Ajit Pawar's MLAs are kind of secretly approaching his state party president after the Lok Sabha polls results, and they want to come to his side. Okay. So from all these points of view, I think it becomes very interesting and important to watch the results tomorrow, Vasudha.
Yeah. Rohit, also before I go to Shaina, quickly, can you also tell us how much is how much influence do the smaller parties have in this? Because if you get into the nitty-gritties of numbers, if you look at the Krantikari Shetkari Paksh, or for that matter, even MIM, do you think these small parties will also have a role to play tomorrow?
Yes. Very good question. These small parties are going to have a big role. Like, one of the things I forgot to mention is what happened in the last council polls 2 years ago. I think you mentioned it in your opening comments. That is also a reference point for which this is being watched. What happens is, these small parties, they may have 2 members, 1 member or whatever, but 12, 13, 14 MLAs together of small parties, they make a lot of difference. And I think the big players like BJP or Ajit Pawar's party or Eknath Shinde, all of them are going to try, or have already tried, or have succeeded, not succeeded, we'll find out tomorrow. But they are trying to get these people on their side.
Right.
And so that, Sharad Pawar's party or Uddhav Thackeray's party can be dented. So this is kind of a semi-final. This is symbolic. The results that come tomorrow are going to be, psychological victory for either side. You look at it that way. Also,
yeah, Shaina, the numbers are clearly on your side, but before 2024 elections, people said that BJP will perform well. It's Shinde, Sena, and the NCP which will not perform well. But clearly, the BJP has performed only slightly better than NCP. In fact, Eknath Shinde's party also has a better strike rate than you. Is that a cause of concern for the party? Because this, in some ways, is the most important state after UP. This is the commercial capital. How do you think this is going to? How are you even taking the pressure? Because I was looking at pictures of Bhupendra Yadav, Ashwini Vaishnav taking meetings yesterday. So clearly the situation is now not just of a litmus test. I understand there could be a lot of pressure in there, isn't it?
So Vasudha, the Electoral College currently is 274. As we all know, you need 23 preference votes, and the BJP is well within our accord to have 5 candidates because we have 111 in terms of support. The question you should actually be asking is the UBT Sena, because with 15 MLAs, they are the ones who would resort to horse trading, or a Sharad Pawar faction who has 13, which would probably want to seek votes from here and there. So as far as this election is concerned, the Bharatiya Janata Party, the MVA, Eknath Shinde ji, Devendra Fadnavis ji, Ajit Pawar ji are on the same page, and we have our systems in place. Having said that, the fear of cross-voting in a state such as ours is that of the players who don't have the basic quorum to even seek that or secure that vote. So if that quota is not secured by Uddhav Sena or is not secured by Sharad Pawar ji's NCP, then there is a huge question there of where is this crossover footfall coming from and at what price. That is what we need to be cautious of. The Bharatiya Janata Party or the Mahayuti have nothing to fear because we are playing a legit
but
game
Shaina,
based
Maharashtra
on numbers
in some ways,
which are
this
factual.
whole cross voting and horse trading, in some ways, I know this is wrong, but in some ways it's become so justified that we just feel it's normal politics in Maharashtra. Mr. Gupta, आप कुछ कहना चाहेंगे सर, बिकॉज सारी नज़र मिस्टर नार्वेकर पे है और क्योंकि आप लोगों ने एक एक्स्ट्रा कैंडिडेट दे दिया है, इसका मतलब ये है कि आपका कॉन्फिडेंस भी बढ़ गया है, लेकिन आपकी पार्टी का स्ट्राइक रेट इतना अच्छा नहीं रहा जितना एक्सपेक्टेड था, और इसमें तो सिंपैथी की भी बात नहीं है सर, ये तो MLAs ही वोट करेंगे. तो हाउ कॉन्फिडेंट आर यू सर कि कल जो है आपके लिए ज़्यादा अच्छा दिन होगा?
देखिए, मैं यही कहूँगा कि अपने नंबरों पर कई बार इतना इताना नहीं चाहिए. ये हिंदुस्तान है, यहाँ पर एक वोट पर सरकार गिर जाती है. अभी अखिलेश जी ने एक शायरी की थी कि हजूरे वाला खामोश बैठे हैं इसी गम में, महफिल लूट ले गया कोई और, जबकि सजाई हमने. ठीक इसी को मैं महाराष्ट्र पिला रहा हूँ कि हजूरे वाला खामोश बैठे रह जाएंगे इसी गम में, महफिल लूट ले जाएगा कोई और, महफिल लूट ले जाएगा कोई और, जबकि नंबर होंगे आप पे. तो इसलिए आप नंबरों में मत चाहिए, नंबर कब काट ले जाए पता नहीं.
Susie Ben, would you like to comment on that?
The problem
आपने यहाँ खुलासा किया है गुप्ता जी कि आप लूटने वाले हैं और आप भाव लगा रहे हैं.
सीएम की कुर्सी लूट लेगा कोई और. एक मिनट, इसमें ये था सीएम की कुर्सी लूट लेगा कोई और, जबकि नंबर लाए आपने. सीएम किसका है महाराष्ट्र में? आपका नहीं है, बीजेपी का नहीं है. आप ये ध्यान रखिएगा, सीएम शिवसेना का है जिनके 40 मेंबर हैं.
Okay, Susie Ben, it's your turn now. Please speak.
You see, the problem with this UBT is that instead of introspecting and really see what the reality is, they are giving shairis only. Now tell me.
But Susie Ben, we talk so much about stolen mandate, Asli Sena, Nakli Sena, but clearly,
UBT,
the results did go some way.
Hold on.
Yes.
Typical UBT is Thackeray clan +1. It is all about the family.
इसी में रहे आप 30 साल तक, जिसको आप टिपिकल कह रहे हैं, 30 साल तक इसी में रहे आप. आज भी और ये साइना एनसीपी.
Let us speak.
Horse trading just for Mr. Narvekar because he is also a part of the Thackeray family. That's the bottom line. It's all about the Thackeray family, the clan, the father, the son.
Okay, Mr. Sapra, you have a point to make. Because Susie Ben is making a very important point here that, look at what happened in Sangli, sir. Vishal Patil did win, right? So, do you feel that the Congress in some ways has given so much space to other parties? Of course, you've done well in Maharashtra, but would you like to respond to what Susie Ben also said right now?
See, number one, let me tell you that Congress has around 16 extra votes, and that will be equivalently distributed. Now, as far as horse trading is concerned, I feel the smaller parties might be under some pressure, like everybody must be eyeing at them. And also the Ajit Pawar faction, a group from Ajit Pawar faction really wants to shift their loyalties from Ajit Pawar to Sharad Pawar. So that is the main thing which entire Maharashtra will be seeing tomorrow, or the entire nation wants to see, whosoever interested. It will be a faction of Ajit Pawar group which might vote for Sharad Pawar's candidate, which is PWP candidate Jayant Patil. So you will see something different in Maharashtra. I can assure you this today. What are going to be the repercussions ahead? We'll see a few days later. But definitely Mahavikas Aghadi is going to become stronger day by day.
Okay. Rohit, help us wrap this up, because, do you see a political churn coming yet again to Maharashtra? And is this event, this MLC polls, is that going to be the catalyst for that?
Well, there's super buzz, Vasudha. I can tell you that much. There's super buzz in, regional media, on OTT platforms, everywhere. I mean, I've been talking since morning on, I don't know how many OTT platforms and regional TV and all of that. Everybody is kind of, predicting what is going to happen tomorrow. Of course, nobody knows what's exactly going to happen. Remember, it's a secret ballot. It's going to happen on paper. There are 274 members who are going to vote from the House of 288. There are presently 274. They are going to vote. Voting is going to start at 9 o'clock. It will end in 1 or 2 hours, 2 hours maybe, and by afternoon we'll know the results. But the big buzz is that, this is going to be kind of a test for Sharad Pawar's NCP in some ways, whether his claims in media that many people from Ajit Pawar's group have been approaching his state party president, Jayant Patil, whether that really culminates, because Sharad Pawar has been very quiet, and a lot of journalists in Mumbai are telling me, we also know from experience that when Sharad Pawar is very quiet, it means there is a storm coming. That's the that's the version that many of us are writing also. So totally unpredictable, and I think all eyes on Vidhan Bhavan tomorrow morning. Let's see what happens. Big question, whether there is cross voting. Second big question, who gets it? Whether Ajit Pawar gets it, or PWP leader Jayant Patil gets it, or one of the others from any other party loses the opportunity. 11 seats, 12 people contesting. So it's going to be a close kind of a thing. Which way small parties go, nobody knows. Right now, many parties, not all, but many parties who are contesting have put their MLAs in, 5-star hotels just to keep them together and, ensure that all of them go and vote in the right way, because there are many technicalities that have to be followed.
Okay.
Let's watch tomorrow what happens, Vasudha.
Rohit, last, so the spotlight, the weakest link, would you say, is the Ajit Pawar-led NCP, because clearly they lost Baramati, they've performed probably the worst in elections, and tomorrow is going to be probably the final test for them. Would you agree with that?
Yes, and I think Ajit Pawar has gone into an overdrive right now. He visited Siddhivinayak temple, in full view of media glaze, all cameras, etc. There is also buzz in media about how he has hired a very expensive image building agency, and they are advising him on how to bounce back. And there's going to be a massive image building, PR, and social media drive that they're going to undertake.
Right.
All of that begins now. And the big test is happening tomorrow. It begins from there, and 2-3 months down the line, 3.5 months down the line, there's the big Maharashtra Assembly polls where everybody will contest. Yes. So it's a big poll season in Maharashtra, a lot of action happening.
Okay, thank you so much, and all the best, all of you, for the big day tomorrow. I mean, Maharashtra elections are viewed with a lot of interest. It's election season yet again in Maharashtra, and this could actually give us a glimpse into what could unravel in the state in the coming months. Thank you for watching NDTV.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's best 5G smartphone brand.
Of more than 50 countries that are standing with Ukraine. We've provided significant economic and humanitarian assistance, and together we have supplied Ukraine with weapons it needs to defend itself.
After great victory by Indian team, and today we are reporting from Worli International Airport where we are showing these visuals. Arshdeep हमारे साथ हैं.
बहुत ही परफॉर्मेंस आई सारे दी थे बढ़िया रिजल्ट्स मिले.
We are in the city of Kanpur today because they have their champion back home, Kuldeep Yadav.
Desperation for each and everyone to go there and win the World Cup, and we did it.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you. NDTV proudly upholds its legacy of trust and credibility. According to the prestigious Reuters Institute's Digital News Report 2024, NDTV is the topmost news platform in the country. Number one in both online and offline reach in India. Beating all its competition, NDTV stands for trust.
Here we are, and ये है आप सभी जैसे जानते हैं मेरा पर्सनल फेवरेट सेक्शन जहां पे मैं देता हूं आपके सवालों के जवाब इन दिस सेगमेंट दैट वी कॉल आस्क टीजी. देखते हैं इस एपिसोड में हमको क्या सवाल मिले हैं.
Hi TG, is the Insta360 X4 worth upgrading from the Insta360 X3 camera? Also, do you think there are any other alternatives?
I'll give you my honest takeaway. Insta360 is doing really good in terms of these 360 cameras, action cameras, small cameras and everything. But I would say please don't upgrade to the X4 if you already have an X3, because X3 is really powerful in itself. और Insta360 X3 बहुत अच्छे options लेके आता है. It's a well-rounded deal altogether. So if in case you already have it, there is no point for you to upgrade to the X4 or any other camera for that matter. आप उसको अभी use कर सकते हैं for at least I would say एक और साल तक before you see any substantial upgrade in this technology. और हो सकता है अगले आने वाले जो मॉडल्स होंगे वो आपको ज़्यादा एक्साइटिंग लगेंगे.
नमस्ते टेक्निकल गुरुजी, मैं ऑनलाइन क्लास में पढ़ती हूँ और मुझसे ज़्यादा टाइम के लिए ईयरफोन्स नहीं.
This is NDTV. And you're watching NDTV 24/7.
Hello, Moto.
Great to have you with us. You're watching the news at 8 with me, Tanima Biswas. We'll get you all the latest on the NEET UG mess, as well as the investigation details from the Mumbai hit and run case. But first up, the headlines. NEET aspirants left in limbo. Supreme Court defers hearings. Supreme Court to study affidavits filed by the centre as well as the National Testing Agency. NTA denies paper leak. Centre advises against re-exam. Education Minister meanwhile meets students, allays concerns. Semi-final to Maharashtra polls and resort politics returns to the state. Maharashtra MLC elections scheduled to be held tomorrow. Uddhav Thackeray forces contest by adding a surprise candidate. Parties move MLAs to hotels fearing cross-voting. The inside track of probe in the Mumbai hit-and-run case. More damning revelations against the Neta's son, who's the main accused. Police claim that passers-by told Mihir Shah to stop dragging the woman by his car. Driver took the wheel, ran over the woman twice. Pune IAS trainees VIP demands red beacon on Audi, demands a separate cabin. Trainee officers' misuse of power under lens. Cops denied entry to check the trainees' residence in Pune. Vice President expresses concerns over parliamentary functioning, says there's a trend to make the Speaker and the Rajya Sabha Chairman a convenient punching bag. Adds that he's been told by MPs that they're directed by their parties to disrupt the House.
Champions Trophy Tour 2025, will India play in Pakistan? BCCI sources on India travelling to Pakistan say that a call will be taken by the government at the right time. NDTV exclusive on the air threat that Indian Air Force faced from Pakistan during the Kargil War. Inside story of how the IAF aces locked onto Pakistani F-16s. And NDTV exclusively accesses video message of astronaut Sunita Williams. Williams comments on the NASA-ISRO joint satellite mission, adds that she's looking forward to meeting Indian astronauts. Our top focus, NEET aspirants still left in a limbo. They have to wait till next week as the Supreme Court has deferred hearing on the matter today. The top court will now study the affidavit submitted by both the Centre and the National Testing Agency, as well as the status report from the CBI into the investigations before considering the next step. Meanwhile, a delegation of students met the Education Minister today and expressed concerns over a possible re-exam. The minister allayed their concerns, saying that future of students is the centre's priority. For more on this and putting everything into perspective, I'm joined by my colleague Aishwarya. Aishwarya, so this was a very crucial hearing which was set to take place today, but now it's been deferred. But take our viewers through what exactly are we to expect from the next hearing, because the Supreme Court will be reading these very important affidavits which have been submitted both by the Centre as well as the National Testing Agency.
Well, certainly it was the CGI in the last hearing stated that they wanted to hear every party involved in this case, and therefore the reason perhaps the affidavits were sought from the Centre and also the NTA and a status report from the Central Bureau of Investigation. Now, on one side, when these affidavits have been submitted, it will take time for the Chief Justice of India-led bench to read those, and also, perhaps when the CGI stated that they wanted to hear every party involved and nodal lawyers should be allocated for the students who want re-examination, for the students who do not want re-examination, for the students who approach the court against the grace marks that they have got, and also on the side of Centre, NTA, certainly it will take a lot of time, and therefore the reason perhaps a specific date was given today. It was stated earlier by the CGI that they would like to hear it tomorrow in the first item, but it was mentioned and requested by the Solicitor General that because they are preoccupied on Monday and Tuesday, therefore the reason a delayed date should be given, and July 18th is the date when the Supreme Court has decided to hear this important matter. Now, the students on one side are not very much happy, who want re-examination on the affidavit that has been given by the central government and the NTA. They have stated that they have taken a U-turn, although on their side they have stated that yes, the paper leak has happened. They have admitted that, but not at that large level, which can impact a lot of other students. Beneficiaries of these paper leak cannot impact the other students, is something that the affidavits have also mentioned. There has been a specific data analysis which had been also submitted by the central government as far as IIT Madras is concerned, which have stated that there was no analytical data mismatch which they have seen in the past results. But of course, it's very important to see that how the Supreme Court will take up these affidavits, whether they will be satisfied by these affidavits or not, which have been submitted by the central government, NTA, or the students who are in a limbo, that whether they will give the second re-examination and will appear for the second retest, or what will be the date. Because very importantly, the centre had stated that by 3rd of July the counselling will start. So in a very fast-paced manner, the judgment had to come so that students can fix their timeline as to how to proceed in their curriculums.
Right, Aishwarya, and of course the petitioners demanding a re-exam, the petitioners who have approached the Supreme Court. Thank you so much for joining us there. Shifting focus now to Maharashtra, and the Maharashtra Legislative Council polls is scheduled tomorrow. It will see elections for 11 seats in the State Legislative Council. MLAs will be voting to elect members of the MLCs. The Mahayuti has fielded 9 candidates and the MVA has fielded 3. The twist in the MLC polls came with the surprise addition of the 12th candidate by Uddhav Thackeray. For more on this, I'm joined by my colleague Radhika. Radhika, there's a lot of political buzz in terms of fears of cross-voting ahead of this crucial elections, which is being touted as the semi-final election ahead of the state assembly polls. So which party is moving their MLAs to hotels? What's the information we have?
Well, with changed political landscape as well as Lok Sabha results, of course, tomorrow's MLC election is going to be very, very interesting. And maybe on unexpected lines, of course, as far as the seats are concerned, 12 candidates in fray for 11 seats. Had 11 candidates been in the fray for 11 seats, then it would have been an unopposed election. But Uddhav Thackeray decided to add Rahul Narvekar to the mix. So that is going to make tomorrow's polling very interesting. Now, as far as who's holed up where is concerned, yes, all parties, not leaving any stone unturned and ensuring that all of their people are together. They are all put up in multiple hotels in the city. However, they claim that this is so that they can give them a lowdown on how to go about this entire voting process, because of course this is arithmetic. There is a lot of number play here and it is based on preferential voting. So to take you through, what is, to take you through the numbers per se, of course, 274 MLAs have to vote for these MLCs, and each MLC will need minimum of 23 votes. Now, if you look at the numbers, as far as Mahayuti is concerned, they have fielded 9 candidates and they have the numbers for these 9 candidates to win. And as far as the other side is concerned, they have the numbers for 2 candidates to win. However, with the additional third person being put in the mix, looks like MVA is quite certain that there is going to be cross-voting that may happen, and people from this party, perhaps Ajit Pawar's party, may decide to vote for somebody within Uddhav Thackeray or within MVA. So we'll have to wait and see how things will pan out tomorrow.
Right. Radhika, stay with us as we'll need you on the next story as well, which is on the Mumbai hit-and-run case where a Neta's son is in the dock for killing a 45-year-old woman. More revelations into the probe as the police recreated the crime scene today. As per the police, their investigation has shown that passers-by who witnessed the accident that day had told Mihir Shah, who's the main accused, to stop when they noticed that his car was dragging the woman, but the accused did not stop. In fact, that is one piece of evidence, further evidence that they have got in this particular case. Let me go back to Radhika. Radhika, so this apart, what other additional information have the police managed to gather after questioning him, as well as the driver who was in their custody till earlier today?
That's right. Investigations are underway. Of course, multiple people are being questioned. Mihir Shah being grilled, and the driver also was grilled till about this afternoon. Of course, he's been sent to judicial custody. Both of them were confronted together. They were taken to the crime scene as well. And of course, CCTV evidence being gathered, not just from the scene of the accident, but also from that particular pub. Now, what we're also hearing is that post the drinking spree that Mihir Shah was on at the Juhu pub, he in fact went on a joyride, also picked up more alcohol and was under the influence of alcohol throughout the drive and was drinking while he was driving as well. There were beer cans, we believe, inside the car that the police say need to be recovered. So it was not just in Juhu pub, but also post that he consumed alcohol, allegedly consumed alcohol. That's what the police is saying. So therefore, they need to recover evidence on that front as well as to where those, cans of beers are, which is why they had sought the custody of the driver as well. And they wanted both of them to be questioned together and corroborate their versions. But however, driver is now in judicial custody, which means the police cannot question the driver. But as far as Mihir Shah is concerned, his grilling will continue for the next few days. Police would want to unearth what exactly happened during the course of the drive, and also what happened after that, who helped him destroy the evidence who helped him escape, was it just the family members and close friends? So yes, the questioning will go on for the next few days.
Right, and very important for the police to piece these kind of evidence together, Radhika, because remember, his medical examination would probably not prove the drunken driving angle, which is why they need to recover these items that they have been looking for. Radhika there with the latest. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, staying with Maharashtra, the IAS trainee Pooja Khedkar is under scanner for what has emerged as a shocking case of abuse of power. She is an officer on probation but reportedly used a red beacon on her car, demanded a separate cabin, perks that she is not entitled to. Pooja Khedkar has now been shunted out of Pune to Washim. Police also visited her house to check the Audi car in question, which had a beacon on top, but they were denied entry. Now, the cops have said that they will send a notice to the car owner as it's illegal to put a Maharashtra government sticker on a private car.
When the matter escalated, Pooja Khedkar preferred to duck. A Government of Maharashtra tag on her personal Audi and a VIP beacon, neither of which she was entitled to. But Maharashtra cadre's probationary IAS trainee, Pooja Khedkar, used them and also demanded other facilities like a senior's cabin and a letterhead. But now she has had to pay the price. After instances of her transgressions became known, the Pune collector wrote to the Chief Secretary of the state and Pooja Khedkar was transferred from Pune to Washim.
I'm not authorized to speak anything right now, so I cannot comment on this. I'm very happy to join in Washim district. I'm looking forward to working with it.
Pooja, who was ranked 821 in the UPSC examination, was made assistant collector in Pune. It is alleged that when the additional collector of Pune was not present, she occupied his antechamber and removed the furniture. She also asked the revenue assistant to provide a letterhead and nameplate and other facilities. Today, the Pune police visited her home but were not allowed to enter even after a 45-minute wait. They will take action against her under the Motor Vehicle Act for using the unwarranted beacon and government sticker.
ये ऑडी गाड़ी है वाइट कलर की, उसके ऊपर अंबर दिया लगा हुआ है और जो महाराष्ट्र शासन लिखा हुआ है उसका कुछ परमिशन नहीं लिया गया। ऐसे ऐसे हमें जानकारी मिली है, उसी के तहकीकात के लिए हम यहाँ पे आए हैं। गाड़ी हमको अभी मिली नहीं है, गाड़ी मिलने के बाद उसके ऊपर हम जो कायदेशीर कार्रवाई है वो सब करने वाले हैं।
Shinde Sena Rajya Sabha MP Milan Deora has described such behavior as a reputational hazard to the IAS.
There are reports of misuse of power and position, but in this case, someone is abusing the position that they even don't have. With cameraman Sagar Shirke, Paras Dama for NDTV 24/7.
Now, Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar addressed the Maharashtra Assembly today, where he expressed concerns over parliamentary functioning. The Vice President, who is also the Rajya Sabha Chairman, said that the post, as well as the Speaker's post in Lok Sabha, has become a convenient punching bag.
Honorable members, Parliament and state legislatures are North Star of democracy. They are North Star. Members of Parliament and legislatures are lighthouses. People look up to you to find solution to their problems. It is apparent that presently all is not well with functioning of our Parliament and legislatures. These temples of democracy are suffering sacrilege of statized disruptions and disturbance. Members must not do anything that brings disrepute to Parliament and affects their credibility. We have to introspect. We have to search our hearts and soul. Are we living up to that requirement?
Some sports news now, and amid reports of India not travelling to Pakistan, the BCCI sources have told NDTV that a call on whether India will travel for the Champions Trophy next year will be taken by the government at an appropriate time. Osama has more details.
Amid all the speculations over whether India will travel for the Champions Trophy, which is scheduled to happen in 2025, well, there is no clarity yet. Our sources in the BCCI have categorically mentioned that the call on India's travel for the Champions Trophy will be taken by the government at the appropriate time. Remember the last bilateral series between India and Pakistan, it happened way back in 2012-2013 when Pakistan travelled to India for a 2-match T20I series and a 3-match ODI series. Since then, India and Pakistan have faced each other in ICC tournaments only. None of them were conducted in Pakistan. Now, what is the alternative if India does not travel to Pakistan? India are likely to request the ICC to hold the Champions Trophy in either Sri Lanka or Dubai. Remember, a similar situation had arisen in 2023 when the Asia Cup, which was supposed to happen entirely in Pakistan, was partially relocated. During that time, Team India's matches, they were moved to Sri Lanka. A hybrid model was adopted where India's matches were moved out of Pakistan. Now, Pakistan has reportedly proposed all of India's matches in one city to minimize their travel. Lahore being that location where India would play all of their matches in the Champions Trophy. Remember, the ICC Champions Trophy, it is scheduled for February to March 2025 in Pakistan. Since 2008's Asia Cup, India have not played any cricket tournaments in Pakistan due to the tense relationship between both the countries. Will that situation change? Well, it looks unlikely after the recent terror attacks. And will India travel to Pakistan for the Champions Trophy? Like I said, our BCCI sources have confirmed that this call will be taken by the government at the appropriate time.
Now, the police have made one arrest in the shocking murder inside a showroom in Haryana's Hisar. Remember, 3 men shot a showroom owner and fled on a bike. Traders protested today, saying there will be no last rites till all the accused are arrested. In an election year, the Chief Minister has assured that the guilty won't be spared.
Protests today in Hisar after the shocking murder yesterday. The Traders Association has refused to carry out the last rites of Ravinder Saini until their demands of 1 crore rupees and a government job for the family are met. The victim's family has refused to accept his mortal remains. The traders have also announced a band on the 12th of July. Last evening, CCTV footage showed 3 attackers fleeing the scene of crime, a Hero Honda motorcycle showroom where they had just shot dead the owner. The police said that the 3 men fired 5 rounds at the owner while a 4th accused waited outside on a bike. Today, there were rows of vehicles parked in protest by the traders, blocking the Delhi-Sirsa highway. Even as CM Nayab Saini and the police said that the main conspirator has been arrested and that the other accused will be arrested soon.
जिस व्यक्ति ने इस जघन्य अपराध को किया है, पुलिस मुस्तैदी से उस तक पहुंच गई है और वो सब लोग गिरफ्त में आ जाएंगे। किसी को भी बख्शा नहीं जाएगा। जो भी व्यक्ति कानून हाथ में लेने की कोशिश करेगा, कुचेष्टा करेगा, हमारी सरकार उसको मजबूती से कुचलने का काम करेगी। कोई बख्शने का सवाल नहीं है ऐसे लोगों को।
The victim Ravinder Saini was associated with the Jan Nayak Janata Party. Party leader Abhay Chautala blamed the government for the attack.
सरकार जिम्मेवार है 100% इसके लिए। पुलिस अफसर क्या करेंगे बेचारे, जब सत्ता में बैठे लोग ऐसे लोगों को संरक्षण देंगे, ऐसे लोगों की पैरवी करेंगे, ऐसे लोगों तक पुलिस जब पहुंचती है तो पुलिस को रोक दिया जाता है कि आप इसको अरेस्ट नहीं करोगे, आप इसको अरेस्ट नहीं करोगे। ऐसे लोगों को संरक्षण बीजेपी का है। उन्होंने एक ऐसा संगठन खड़ा करा, तो मैंने तो हाउस के अंदर कही थी।
With the government yet to agree to the traders' demands, the protests are continuing. The family is yet to carry out the last rites. With Gurpreet Chinna, Arti Krishnan for NDTV.
Now, 25 years ago, at the height of the Kargil War, the Indian Air Force was involved in daring missions to take out Pakistani posts that they had built on Indian soil. The Indian Air Force, along with the Army, was tasked with evicting the intruders. The role of the IAF, less spoken of than the Army, was also critical. In this exclusive report, Vishnu Shom, who flew on board the IAF Mirage 2000s during the war, reports on the air threat that the IAF faced from Pakistani F-16s. IAF Mirages had locked onto these F-16s and were ready to pull the trigger if they felt threatened. Details revealed for the first time by the pilots who flew these missions.
It's these Mirage 2000s of the Indian Air Force that were involved in some of the most daring air operations of the Kargil War 25 years ago. They struck Tiger Hill, an attack that changed the course of the ground war, and now details have emerged of how close pilots flying those jets were to shooting down Pakistan Air Force F-16 fighters during the war.
Did any of you personally lock on to a Pakistani F-16?
Yes, I did lock on to a Pakistani F-16 once.
For how long?
Probably for about 30 seconds. Because the moment we locked onto him, he turned away, and the moment he turned away...
At what distance was this?
It was around 35 kilometers.
Once the aircraft engine started up, everything...
Other Mirage pilots, including Air Marshal D.K. Patnaik, seen here as a young squadron leader during Kargil, also detected Pakistan Air Force F-16s.
Closest that they came to the LC was about 30 kilometers. And we were flying very close to the LC, and we had weapons like Nambisa just mentioned, beyond visual range.
Yeah.
The Pakistanis assumed will have an effective range
You had an
of about 20
R-530 missile with you, right?
Yes, that's right. The 530D.
Yeah.
About 20 kilometers range at those altitudes. So they never took a chance, and we had superior missiles.
The Indian Air Force pilots knew that they were being tracked by Pakistani F-16s since they were fitted with radar warning receivers. These are systems designed to detect the radio emissions of radars of enemy aircraft. RWRs, as they're known, issue a warning when a radar signal believed to be a threat is picked up. This includes emissions from the fire control radar of enemy fighter jets looking to complete a radar lock-on. That's something which is necessary in order for the aircraft to launch an air-to-air missile. In the years following the Kargil War, the Pakistan Air Force corrected the imbalance in the capabilities of their air-to-air missiles by upgrading and equipping their F-16 jets with the long-range US-built AMRAAM missile. It's believed that the IAF pilot, Wing Commander Abhinandan Vartman's MiG-21, was downed by an AMRAAM fired from a Pak Air Force F-16 in 2019. Vishnu Shom for NDTV.
Now, Indian origin NASA astronaut Sunita Williams says she's not stuck at the International Space Station and is looking forward to her extended stay at her space-based home away from home. In a message delivered on America's National Day, astronaut Sunita Williams highlighted that she looks forward to welcoming Indian astronauts to NASA and the space station. The video, accessed exclusively by NDTV science editor Pallav Bagla, shows the crew do effortless somersaults in the near-zero gravity conditions on board the space station, orbiting some 400 kilometers above Earth.
Greetings from the International Space Station. I'm NASA astronaut Sunny Williams, along with my NASA crewmates Jeanette Epps and Tracy Dyson.
We're sending Independence Day greetings to all of you celebrating today at the U.S. Embassy in New Delhi. The 4th of July is a special day in America, a day of remembrance. But most importantly, we're reminded of possibilities.
As part of an international crew of astronauts, celebrating the 4th of July with colleagues reminds us that space exploration is one of the greatest beacons of possibility, greater than one country alone. India and the United States have had much success working together to explore the stars, and our future together could not be brighter. NASA and the Indian Space Research Organization continue to work toward the launch of NISAR, our joint Earth observation satellite that will launch from India this year to measure changes in our planet's surface. And we're not stopping there. Our cooperation is expanding to human spaceflight, including the launch of an Indian astronaut to the International Space Station. After returning to Earth, we look forward to meeting Indian astronauts training at NASA's Johnson Space Center in Houston, Texas. Our partnership with India and countries around the world will help expand humanity's reach for the stars.
And with that, it's a wrap on the show. Coming up next, The Last Word with Maria Shakil.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's best 5G smartphone brand.
Some people say the metaverse will only be virtual. One day this lecture hall will be made of code, and driverless cars would be trapped in intersections. But even in this maze of the future, you can't wish away health. It's time to become more resilient. "10 years of Banega Swasth India, we have grown and achieved so many milestones. And now I have a plan to beat the urgency, to stop breathing with difficulty, to relieve getting choked with inactivity. Energize our government, our environment, our society, and ourselves. Everyone, everywhere, every day. Banega Swasth India. One world hygiene.
This is a pub that was shut by the excise department. In fact, that was sealed by the excise department. As you can see, the BMC officials cutting off that particular sheet, the black sheet, because this is an illegal extension. And now remains to be seen what other action will be taken.
बिना उसकी उम्र जाने, उसके साथ मौजूद उन दोस्तों के उम्र जाने, उसे आखिरकार शराब कैसे दी गई?
The police's major concern or primary concern at the moment is Mihir Shah and what exactly unfolded that night.
बड़ा आदमी का लड़का है ना, सब ये इधर राजकारण चल रहा है, कुछ नहीं है, ये राजकारणी सब लोग हैं।
The biggest democratic exercise in the world. Team NDTV covers it from ground zero.
BJP really had to fight a tough election this time.
Unprecedented exercise.
भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने ये देश के विकास
Unmatched coverage.
There is no dispute. जनता को decide करना है.
From polling to counting, NDTV brought you the most trustworthy news and updates.
Word, and I'm Maria Shakil. The NEET saga seems never ending. Earlier today, the hopes of students waiting for some good news were dashed. The Supreme Court deferred the hearing on a bunch of petitions seeking a retest for NEET UG, that is undergraduate, to 18th July. This after the centre submitted an affidavit before the Apex Court yesterday. Remember, the centre is opposing a retest. Parallel to this, some NEET UG students met Education Minister soon after the Apex Court hearing. This was the second meeting of students with Dharmendra Pradhan. Before we go across to students in the eye of the NEET storm, here's a quick update on what happened today.
When will the NEET deadlock end? The million-dollar question that seems to have no answer so far. Seeking some respite, NEET aspirants met Education Minister Dr. Dharmendra Pradhan for the second time. Sources say the meeting that lasted 30 minutes saw the students express concern over a retest. The Education Minister on his part assured the students that their future was a priority for the government. But there was more disappointment in store for the NEET aspirants. The Supreme Court deferred the hearing on NEET malpractices a day after the centre submitted an affidavit before the court.
एनटीए और सरकार ने जो हलफनामा दिया है वो अब हमारे वकील उसको स्टडी करेंगे, क्योंकि एनटीए ने अपने हलफनामे में पूरे झूठ भर भर के लिखे हैं। एनटीए बार बार अपने स्टैंड को चेंज कर रही है। एनटीए कभी कहता है लीक हुआ था, आज उसने मानने से मना कर दिया लीक हुआ था। हमें यही उम्मीद है कि गुरुवार को अगले एक ऐतिहासिक फैसला आएगा और 24 लाख बच्चों को रीनीट का जो है वो अवसर मिलेगा और सीजीआई 24 लाख परिवारों के साथ जस्टिस करेंगे।
The case will now be heard on the 18th of July. The NEET UG counselling was set to begin in the third week of July, but with this delay, there is a cloud over its timeline. In its affidavit to the Supreme Court, the centre has opposed a re-NEET on grounds that there was no mass irregularity in the NEET UG examination and that the evidence of paper leak is also limited.
IIT Madras has done, they have only compared the result of 2023 and 24. But what was the order of the court? The court has requested the Union of India that some forensic academic background check of the students may be done. So they have not compared with the academic background of the student, such as that how much marks a student has obtained in class 12th or class 11th or class 10th, and what was their result in the NEET examination.
There seems to be no end to insight for students in NEET Not. They are caught in limbo as the case in Supreme Court has been deferred and the counselling dates are drawing near. The big question on their minds is, will they have to sit for NEET for the second time? If yes, then when? This is Aishwarya Jain with video journalist Kamal Khan for NDTV in Delhi.
So let me get you voices of students who are in the middle of this entire chaos. Ashna Jain is a NEET aspirant. We have Anandi Singh, a NEET aspirant again. Anvi Gupta and Naveen Gupta are family. In fact, Naveen is father of Anvi Gupta. Aira Ali and Asif Tyagi are again family. Aira Ali is a NEET aspirant and Asif is her father, and Kajal Kumari is again a NEET aspirant. Let me begin with you, Anvi. Why are you seeking re-NEET?
Yes, ma'am. We are seeking re-NEET because, as you see, the results were released on the 4th of June. There has been a very significant, or I would say very inflated rise in the ranks. Like, my rank was supposed to come in the range of 5,000 to 6,000, but it suddenly jumped to 23,000. That means there's a difference of 18,000. Or you could say 17,000 if the supposed rank had to be 6,000 according to this year. So where did the 17,000 came from? So, and even if I talk about significant lower marks like 600, the rank was 30,000 previous year, and now the rank is 81,000. So why there was so much inflation in a year? And the NT states that there has been a reduction of 25% syllabus, which doesn't make any sense, because there has been a significant reduction in the syllabus in JEE means. And
so you feel that those who have been identified as those 1,625 students, they got inflated marks, but they have already undergone retest as well. So you do not feel that there has been correction in what was seen as irregularity?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that has not been corrected. Ashna, coming to you, why do you feel that there should not be a retest or re-NEET?
Ma'am, if retest has to be conducted, it had to be conducted in May itself, or even in June it was okay. But now, after 2.5 months, we are not in touch of syllabus, and we are not reading anything. Now it is not possible for us to gain the same momentum, to gain the same flow, and to attempt the test. Here, the people who were sure that their selection is not happening have already started studying. So they have an extra edge over us. So it is unfair to us, who are the genuine candidates, to rewrite the test. If it is the mistake of the government, so government should pay for it, not we.
Okay, okay. So you are of the opinion that there should not be re-NEET because all of you cannot go back into studying again. But how confident are you that you'll be able to get a good college when the counseling happens?
At my score, I am getting a good college. Not a very much good college as much I expected, but it is okay. I am ready to accept it. But I think the retest should happen in some states where paper leak has been reported by CBI. So our rank will automatically boost up.
Okay. Anandi Singh, coming to you now, because there are a number of students who feel there should not be re-NEET. There should be re-NEET. In which side which side are you standing?
Ma'am, just like Ashna said, re-NEET should be conducted for those students that has been found out that they have actually cheated or there had been paper leaks, because first of all, there is no accurate data about how many students who have got the papers which were leaked, and like conducting re-NEET for 25 students, that is a big amount. That is not just for everyone. We were in touch for studying around 10-12 hours every single day, giving tests every day. We were in a flow. And now that they have given like 2 months gap and they expect us that how can we be sure that our performance will be as good as it was last time? So it is not fair for everyone. The amount of pressure and the stress that we students go through, and we have to go through that again because few of them had malpracticed. It's not fair for all of us.
So you do not think that, if there is a case of paper leak, it would have led to several students benefiting and several students not. So, that irregularity that is being talked about, you don't feel that it was at a mass level, it could have been localized as the government is arguing?
Yes, ma'am, exactly. There is no accurate number about how many students have got the paper.
Okay, so there's no accurate number. Aira Ali and Kajal, आप बताइए. Kajal, पहले वो मैं आपसे सवाल पूछूंगी. नीट एस्पिरेंट हैं, बहुत सारे लोगों का ये कहना है जो लॉजिस्टिकल इश्यूज थे, बहुत सारे बच्चे जा पाएंगे या नहीं फिर से एग्जाम देने के लिए, वो बहुत सारे उनका ये भी सवाल है कि ज़रूरत क्या है री-नीट की. आप क्या सोचती हैं?
मैम, सबसे पहले तो एजेंसी जो बोल रही है कि 24 एजेंसी सुप्रीम कोर्ट में ये साबित करना चाहती है कि 24 लाख स्टूडेंट को इफेक्ट पड़ेगा. यहाँ पे जो पहले तो 10 लाख जो क्वालिफाई नहीं कर पाए वो डिमांड ही नहीं कर रहे हैं कि री-नीट हो, और जो 13 लाख में क्वालिफाई हुए कैंडिडेट, उसमें से जो टॉप के 1.5 लाख स्टूडेंट्स हैं उनमें से बच्चे डिमांड कर रहे हैं कि री-नीट हो. तो पहले तो हमें ये बताना पड़ेगा कोर्ट में कि सब नहीं चाहते हैं कि री-नीट हो. जो 1.5 लाख टॉप के बच्चे वो चाहते हैं, क्योंकि उनकी जैसे मेरी रैंक जो 15,000 आनी थी वो 56,000 आई है. तो मेरे जैसे बच्चे जो उस कैटेगरी पर लाइक करते हैं वो चाहते हैं, क्योंकि अगर गवर्नमेंट चाहे तो अगर 30,000 बच्चे जो आगे निकले चीटिंग करके, जो कि डेटा से पता चला, अगर उन्हें छांट सकती है तो री-नीट ना करवाए, पर वो गवर्नमेंट छांट ही नहीं सकती क्योंकि वो डिनाई कर रही है कि हमने पेपर लीक किया ही नहीं है, पेपर लीक हुआ ही नहीं है. जब आप एक्सेप्ट ही नहीं कर रहे कि पेपर लीक हुआ है तो आप उन बच्चों को छांट कैसे पाएंगे? तो इसके लिए तो री-नीट करवाना पड़ेगा. अगर आप छांट सकते हैं बच्चों को तो आप छांटिए, तब रैंक अपने आप ठीक हो जाएगी. तो री-नीट मत करवाइए.
ओके, सो यू आर ऑफ द ओपिनियन कि री-नीट ही एक तरीका है क्योंकि छांट नहीं पाएंगे आप, या हाउ डू यू सेपरेट द स्टूडेंट्स हु मे हैव benefited or some kind of have been beneficiary of paper leak? So that is a big concern. Let me bring in the parents first now. Asif, the question is of course to the parents who have been very, very worried. Asif and Naveen Gupta, what are your thoughts? I mean, as parents, is the concern now about counseling, or are you staring at uncertainty just like your children are, that you do not know whether there'll be re-NEET or not, because the government's intentions are very clear. They have communicated to the Supreme Court in the form of an affidavit that they are not for re-NEET.
Actually, problem ये है कि गवर्नमेंट तो डे 1 से इस चीज को डिनाई कर रही है कि एग्जाम कंडक्शन जो है वो बिल्कुल फेयर हुआ है, और धर्मेंद्र प्रधान जी ने भी एकदम से आने के बाद यही बोल दिया था कि एग्जाम फेयर हुआ है. वो तो जब मीडिया ने, आप लोगों ने जो है इसमें मतलब स्टूडेंट की सपोर्ट में आवाज उठाई और काफी सारी जगह से इंस्टांसेस पकड़ में आए कि पेपर लीक हुआ है, पेपर लीक हुआ है, तब उन्होंने माना कि उसने क्या पेपर लीक हुआ है। इवन सुप्रीम कोर्ट में भी कन्फेस हुआ है इस चीज का कि हाँ पेपर की जो गरिमा है, जो पेपर की सेंसिटिविटी वो तो भंग हुई है। तो ये चीज तो स्टैब्लिश हो चुकी है कि पेपर आउट हुआ है और इतने सारे सेंटर्स पे इनकी खुद की एजेंसी FIR कर चुकी है। इवन आज भी अगर आपने लेटेस्ट न्यूज चल रही है कि गोधरा में किसी सेंटर के पार्टिकुलर किसी सेंटर पे डिफरेंट स्टेट के स्टूडेंट है और उनको मीडियम भी गुजराती भरवाया गया। और प्लस ये कि पेपर 4 कोर्ट ने जैसे पूछा, उसने कैसा है कि पेपर के कंडक्शन में और पेपर के लीक में कितना लैग है। तो 4 तारीख में पेपर अवेलेबल करा दिया गया था लोगों को। जो टेलीग्राम चैनल पे इस टाइप की न्यूज चैट चल रही है कि पेपर मिल गया, या फिर कन्फेक्शन में बोला गया कि हमें एक दिन पहले पेपर याद कराया गया और उस वही पेपर हमें अगले दिन मिला। तो ये चीज तो स्टैब्लिश हो ही चुकी है। और प्लस ये डिजिटली अगर आप चीजों की बात कर रहे हैं, पेपर तो अगर एक दिन पहले अगर किसी सॉल्वर के पास है और उनके पास भी ऑब्वियसली यार वो किसी इलेक्ट्रॉनिक मीडियम से ही पहुंचा है, तो फिर 1 घंटे में दुनिया के किसी कोने में पेपर पहुंच सकता है, 1 मिनट के अंदर दुनिया के किसी कोने में पेपर पहुंच सकता है। तो इस चीज को ये बोलना है कि पेपर जो लीक है बड़ा लोकलाइज्ड हुआ है, सिस्टेमिक नहीं हुआ है, वाइड स्प्रेड नहीं है, तो इस चीज को कैसे स्टैब्लिश करा जा सकता है। और अगर मतलब ये कि मेरी बेटी की अगर मैं बात करूं, तो इसका स्कोर मतलब अच्छा स्कोर है कि अगर इन्फ्लेशन नहीं होता, अगर पेपर जेन्युइन होता, तो इसको आराम से इसके जो भी मनपसंद कॉलेज जो उसने टारगेट कर रखे जिन स्टेट्स के, वो इसको मिल जाते हैं। लेकिन यहाँ पे डिलेमा है कि इसको अभी काउंसलिंग का वेट करे, कॉलेज मिलेगा नहीं मिलेगा। तो एज अ पेरेंट अगर मैं बात करूं तो बहुत कंफ्यूजन की स्थिति है और गवर्नमेंट बोलती है कि सीमाएं सुरक्षित है,
are
सब
you
कुछ
now
सुरक्षित है।
waiting for counseling, or do you feel that she will not be able to get the college of her choice?
हम cheated फील कर रहे हैं कि गवर्नमेंट बोलती है कि हमारी सीमाएं सुरक्षित हैं, हमारी एजेंसी फुल प्रूफ है। एक एग्जाम तो ढंग से करा नहीं पा रहे आप लोग, NTA मतलब नेट के एग्जाम कैंसिल करा रहे हो, उसके बाद CUT का रिजल्ट नहीं दे पा रहे हो। तो ये तो क्वेश्चन मार्क है, इस NTA को स्क्रैप कर देना चाहिए मेरे हिसाब से।
नवीन गुप्ता,
Yes, ma'am.
are you waiting for re-NEET, or are you of the opinion that your daughter Anvi should now enter the counseling, because most students will be taking the counseling that is coming in 2 weeks time, in fact less than 2 weeks.
Thing is, the thing is the position is today is like we are hoping that we will get the justice from the Supreme Court. Now the thing is that the things are being delayed from their side. We don't know who is responsible of it, but the students are facing the crunch of it. Every now and then the days are passing by, and they are playing with the career of so many children. Actually, they don't know the importance of that. And moreover, we see that if the re-NEET is done, the main question is how to extract the tainted one students out of the system. Because the main problem is the tainted one has been entered from the wrong side and affected the whole result. The problem is this. Now the solution is how the Supreme Court look out for the solution for it. Either by the re-NEET of those students which are eligible for getting the good ranks into it, or either by some other method that like 24,000 people have been entered in the month of April by opening the window for it. The photo has been allowed to change it. The data of other things like mobile number and email ID also have been allowed by them to change it in the month of April. So this shows that the problem is created by the NTA by allowing all these factors into the picture. And they are still denying it with all these things.
Okay, since NTA is now going to be restructured, and of course there is an acknowledgement that the entire functioning of this institution has been problematic. So can you all wait? Of course you can't wait, because in just few days from now there would be counselling. So Ashna, there are some of your friends here, Ira, Anvi and Kajal, who feel there should not be any re-NEET. There should be a re-NEET. You are of the opinion there should not be any re-NEET. So how are the students going to find some kind of peace now? Because what appears at the moment is that it is going to be a case of no re-NEET, and all of you are heading for counselling at the moment.
मैम जो भी रीनीट की रिक्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं उनके साथ इशू यही है कि उनकी रैंक कुछ ज़्यादा इन्फ्लेट हो गई है. दे स्कोर्ड अ गुड स्कोर बट उस पे कॉलेज अच्छा नहीं मिल रहा है। तो मैम वो प्रॉब्लम जिन स्टेट्स में पेपर लीक हुआ है उससे सॉल्व हो सकती है। बस आई एम अपोजिंग रीनीट बिकॉज क्योंकि हमें उस प्रेशर से एंड उस सिचुएशन से वापस नहीं गुजरना, एंड वी आर नॉट ऑल्सो इन द फ्लो। तो जस्टिस तो ऐसे भी हो सकता है कि अगर पेपर लीक जहाँ जहाँ हुआ है, जहाँ जहाँ प्रूवन है, वहाँ वहाँ रीनीट हो जाए। तो उससे भी जो सिचुएशन है वो काफी हद तक सॉल्व हो जाएगी। एंड नॉट इवन अगर मैं भी सोशल मीडिया पे देखूं तो देयर आर टू ओपिनियंस एग्जिस्टिंग, रीनीट और नो रीनीट। सो नो रीनीट वाले स्टूडेंट्स जो डिमांड कर रहे हैं उनकी भी संख्या बहुत ज़्यादा है। तो वी कांट से कि रीनीट इज़ द ओनली सोल्यूशन।
ओके।
और रीनीट भी आप सब रीनीट अगर आपने करवा भी दिया तो आप सबके साथ जस्टिस नहीं कर पाओगे। देयर विल ऑलवेज बी अ स्लैब जिसके साथ इनजस्टिस हो रहा होगा, चाहे वो रीनीट हो चाहे रीनीट ना हो।
Though, but at least those students who feel that there should be a re-NEET, they should be given a chance. Are you of that opinion, Anandi, that you are against re-NEET, but those like Ira or Anvi who feel that there should be a retest, they should be given that option?
I feel like most of the students who are requesting for NEET, just like Ashna said, are not getting good colleges, and I absolutely get it. It's heartbreaking, but ma'am, they also should understand that the other students, the genuine candidates who have put their heart and soul and done their best, it's not unfair. It's very unfair for them also, because the amount of pressure we go through, it's not normal, and many students would have to start coaching again. So all these factors are also there.
Okay, so let's have Anvi and Anandi on the screen now. I want you to, both of you, to have a conversation here. Anvi, here is Anandi who feels that you are being unfair by demanding a re-NEET. How will you respond to her?
Ma'am, actually, okay, it's right that she might accept that, okay, that it is very difficult to score such a great marks in the NEET, but there is no justice here, because if you talk about that, there have been leaks in several states, and there have been I think in the Latur case also, when the person was arrested, he said himself that the paper was sent via WhatsApp. So when the social media comes into the play, then there's a high chance that it could be leaked to several other people as well. And how you could trace it? The center who has CBI with them, they are refusing that there has been no leak, no mass leak, and they are also, and their investigations, their report is also saying the same. So how can you trace the irregularities? They are not in the favor of investigating the major leaks also. They are not mentioning the people that they have arrested as well.
No, but all those investigation details are in the public domain. There has been an important arrest which has happened today as well. So, Ira, what will you be telling to your friend Anandi?
I'd like to say that the playing field was never leveled. If the playing field was leveled, to their demanding no re-NEET would be fair. But right now, with the rank inflation is 400% in the category where you land a government college.
Okay.
So that's unfair to most of us. And I get what you mean by saying that no one wants to go through that same dilemma one goes through with all the tests and putting in 11, 12 hours. But then you need to level the playing field.
Should there be a level playing field? And rightly so, Anandi, one would say, yes, students...
I agree with you, Ira, but I would also like to say that, being a little frank, I think the paper this year was also easy. And if you're being selected and if you're getting a government college, in MBBS, you have to study on your own anyways. So I think what should matter with you is that if you're getting a government college, what should matter is that if you're getting a government college or not. And paper and the inflation that you're talking about, I think was very valid, because the paper was also genuinely easy as compared to last year.
Paper was genuinely easy, but then
I did
not
expect
easy
that there would be a rank inflation. But now that we know that there are few paper leaks, I feel that it's unfair that that in few states there is very high rank inflation and in others there are not. For example, you take South India. There are 0 states where you are getting this information about paper leaks. It's the entire South India is a big area. How many students are there? There are no paper leaks, no information about it. There are just 4 or 5 states. So rank inflation was valid. I'm just talking about the few of 3-4 states that are present in North India, and because of those few paper leaks, there had been rank inflation. But if you're getting a good government college, I think then it should be fine.
What are the chances of you getting a government college, Ira?
What will you say those people who are in the range in 620 to 650? What will you say to them? That they must belong to this state, then they can favor this, then that can happen. Like
I do understand that it's very hard.
It's a genuine question. What will you say to the 620 to 650? Because I know the value of those marks because I never scored this much.
I also understand the value, and I know like past 3-4 साल पहले तक 620, 630 was very good score. But now you see Delhi में, for example,